Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Salone For All and Voice For All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. I don't see the flyer, hot topic, hot. But with the hope for it be a very nice, civilized conversation between myself, with panelists them today, as well as the audience. As always, now we put Salone first. Now we no say Salone there above any one of we or any political party where you find yourself. You do have a right, and again, as we can always from time to time, we remind ourselves about the rules of engagement here on this platform, that everyone has the right to belong to whatever political party you belong to. When you want improve on your debate, or you want to prove a point, try for improving the areas of where you can provide the audience or the one that we involved by the debates authentic evidence instead of going the other route, which is the profanity, and the list goes on. We do not do that on this platform. We want to make it a friendly and family platform, and the list goes on. They start with one or two things, and then we panelists will come and join me soon. Make I acknowledge some of you now would already don't come, and I help we share wide and far. Mr. Nabi Yansane, welcome, sir. The wonderful Madam ZZ, welcome. Now, welcome once again to Salone For All and Voice For All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. Will they come right back? And I please share, yeah? Welcome to Salone For All and Voice For All Network Television.
The challenge now lies ahead, how to rebuild Sierra Leone. And one of the pillars on which this venture rests is trying to create a sense of awareness, educate people, and fight the evil, which is corruption, for it not to take center stage in Sierra Leone again. We're looking forward to a period of calm and development based on the tenets of good governance, including good government, an accountable system of government where transparency and the interests of the people take center stage. It is in this cause that we'll continue with our quest to fight and rid Sierra Leone of corruption. Corruption is do so. Let's make corruption history in Sierra Leone.
They don't table, what would they say to bet fat food? Now, the eye don't come for watch, let mountain fat food. You do so.
Yeah. Corruption. You do so, oh, corruption.
You good or you bad, you rich or you poor.
Corruption. You do so, oh, corruption. Yeah, back and go.
All big pamble them wanna listen. Yes, where we left for they say we not busy. Corruption, not the reason. We they suffer like good in a prison. Kapu don't misuse me budget. Go get sweat, I am every go get. So fraud and fake contract. How comes diamond to story? Hate boss, know yourself not to cause. TV, Django Lico. All the time that they say about your loss. Ban the witch and no do kokoro. They make like no day, good road no day. We country dirty, ban anarchy. Salome let we left people quit. The habits for the puts na pocket.
Corruption. You do so, oh, corruption.
You good or you bad, you rich or you poor.
Corruption. You do so, oh, corruption. Yeah, back and go.
Wait till make like no day.
Na corruption.
Why we country dirty?
Na corruption.
Wolfman they no get pay.
Na corruption.
Officer where they take bribe.
Na corruption.
Tribalism, nepotism.
Na corruption.
You pirates me cassette.
Na corruption.
No justice for the poor.
Na corruption.
Better school set no day.
Na corruption.
Coats and necktie, so lie. How bad shalati no yard. You make we pull mokutu. Businessman and no man, una left paramu. Smuggle pillars una left Dabaru. Yes, let we all left Kuku Jumuku, Bele Wapi, and Ayampi. Then they talk Noshi Noshi.
Corruption, corruption. It do so, oh, corruption, corruption.
You good or you bad, you rich or you poor.
Corruption, corruption. It do so, oh, corruption. Yeah, pack and go, pack and go.
We get gold, diamond, silver and copper. Tell me, why still with a dialect proper? Tell me, huh? Mr. Corruption, who that the cap fit? Miss Corruption, who that the cap fit? Black man sorry na laugh. We're no bad but then give it chap chap. Then get mine for chap, we let get grab. Then get half the old then a ma. Mama no laugh for 19 only staff. Make youth man turn we rope na waf. Yuki for done bata bata. Akata then they talk boto bata. Florina then they well pity pata. Oga man kill full of man for dollar. Corruption don't bring camper Allah. Kocha kutia, chap you chap. 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion. Anti-corruption they watch. When uncle corruption they chat. Salone For All we tire for club.
Corruption, corruption. It do so, oh, corruption, corruption.
You good or you bad, you rich or you poor.
Corruption, corruption. It do so, oh, corruption. Yeah, pack and go, pack and go.
From Google Dog, kill a pet. Before we burn their wets, we don't get it for pets, corruption. If you suffer, then it's sad when they take bail like Saturday police. You do so, yeah? You do so.
Them say then they fixed in them make we wait. From where them born we dey no more, we dey wait. Just dey wait. Government they come and go and left we pan the big debate. Another generation don't come meet we pan the way. Come to the way. You still no say na boom bamboo you late. Even though man them I chair pan altin. When I say altin I mean altin. All these things them where they happen na the country. We cherry I pan altin. But the man they no begin them bagbati. They don't begin them bagbati. Do ya una no left hand bagbati back take. Una let go be your body. But the man they no begin them bagbati. They don't begin them bagbati. Now so then go left back and sabi time done them fail with your body. All man don't stand at his attention. All man want make impression. What me go say? Watch me back, look how I Becky. Tomorrow on we don't know. Today on the team mona. Everybody waiting for the miracle like hot colorist na fire. Hey, we dey be a normal but it not funny. Okupa we no know how government they run. Una been say una know, but una explanation don't become boring. It can make a one for sleep. We dey be a normal but it not funny. Frustration they claim the mountains. All man pack tormenting. From one stress to the next thinking, make man them colomenting. Got a man and they come, got a man and they go. The people in life the same. So we no get for tire for complain. Although them don't begin say we gladly. If na joke than the joke, say we the grumble because we well full enough funny. Una no care play to a hungry man. A hungry man is an angry man. Now the same boy na him talk say in 6 months he they fix the economy. Let's see no more. Now the same man come back and give we back up. Una been say una get all the solution, but we don't understand any longer. Una been say una get this, it's easy, una mentally advanced. Where all the book man them way, una been the talk say ready for the dance. I remember the talk where the Barbie the talk say only the fish a big finance. Where all the idea them, we go make we live like family. Where the rest una the plan, the seed no they grow, na shataban. Una not tell we but una degree, una show we if una sabi. Facility not dey na hospital, till then they dey about. Una not tell we but una degree, show we waiting una sabi. The economy still shitty, life of citizens shitty. If na quality education, make una pikin then can't say stand. How long una go dey and talk? Na talk no more una dey talk. If not ordinary talk, by now man for the shock. How man they still get book? Now that they believe on a buy party pikin. Man must have make ground soak. Now then they get to walk back on a the pine party them. The kind way safe way man then they handle thing them say lots. See the worker and they strike, and they hold their money, they don't pay them. Tell me if una go like, if una then they do so. He don't tell where they want bluff. Money for we well body one then go buy motor car.
Yeah, from what I know, the government purchased 30 brand new SUVs.
Okay, yeah, the other one.
No, those vehicles were not brand new SUVs, all 30 of them.
Okay, yeah, the other one back.
Only 4 SUVs for these regional coordinators.
Okay, well now you this one back.
There are no SUVs. We call them Toyota Prado.
Well, and now the Munku them boss. Then one come by packet. You cannot give what you don't have. If you are not, you are not. COVID patient, then this gone, cause then Lego them na dirty quarantine. Nobody don't care, then just go Lego them so that the dirty quarantine. And now the Munku them boss. So then why I come by packet? Put another Munku boy, we want come name area them by party. Oh, this Munku boy just they take people and they pity fatter. Don't the police and no SD, then just they harass people all lawfully. Put another Munku boy where they pop and down with gun, they misbehave. Put another Munku boy, he meets bridge can name me hard pan name. Wetin the party do, the buying power now the lock and a boatman too. Wetin do the soldier man, the one where the people like vote for, where the discipline talk. For the government to carry them after hours. Where the discipline talk, man and don't begin they go work anyhow. Where the discipline talk, some man know they do them work then they eat money no more. Where the discipline talk, then just they bill no more. But by all than they back the man me say I'm of justice. See they begin give we back and they back. They fair no that they give we. Then just they go, man and they feel themselves and people they suffer. Then just they go, people they suffer, man they come to the way.
Welcome back.
Still not no say na boom bamboo you lay. Even though man them I chair pan all in when I say all in I mean all this in them where they happen na the country we cherry I pan all so the man they no begin them babati. They don't begin them babati. Una no left hand babati back there. Una like go be your body. But the man they no begin them babati. They don't begin them babati. Now so then go let back and sabi time done they fail with your body. All man don't stand that is attention. All man want make impression. What he never say? Watch me back, look how I Becky. Tomorrow you we don't know. Today on the team mama. Everybody waiting for the me red cool like hot for the rest of fire. No we be a normal but it's not funny. But we know how government they run. Una be say una know. But una explanation don't become boring. It can make a one for sleep. Will be a number but it's not funny. Frustration they climb the mountains. All man back to mental. From one stress to the next thinking. Make man them colomenting. Got a man and they come, got a man and they go. The people alive the same. So we no get for tired for complain. Although them don't begin saying life. When I talk down the joke, so we the crumble because we don't fool enough funny. When I knock a plate to a hungry man is an angry man. Now the same boy in talk say 6 months, he will fix the economy. Let's see no more. Now the same man come back and leave back talk. When I be say when I get all the solution, but we not understand any longer. When I be say when I get this, it's easy and I'm mentally advanced. Where all the bookman them way, when I be the talk say ready for the dance. I remember the talk to the park, the talk say only the fish I big finance. Where all the idea them, we go make we live like family. Where the rest soon I the plan, you see the they grow. I shut up when I not tell we but when I degree, when I show if when I sabi, silly not in a hospital. See when they be about, when I not tell we but when I degree, show we waiting when I sabi. The economy still shitty, life for citizen shitty. If not quality education, make una picking them contestant. How long would I go the bank talk no more than I talk. If not ordinary talk, by now man for the shock. How man they still get book? Now that they believer on a buy party begin. Man I must have been make drum soak. Now then they get to work about on a the pine party them. They can't rest for man in the hand and see them say lot. See the worker and they strike, and they hold their money they don't pay them. Tell me if I go like, now then they do so. They don't tell where they want bluff. Money for well body one then go buy motor car.
From what I know, the government purchased 30 brand new SUVs.
Now it's time, and I welcome once again to Salone For All and Voice For All Network Television.
Only for
I said I know we got for one up a little bit, even though it's critical topic, but if I know we start on a good note. We cannot allow this politician for take we smile now we face. It's a no. No way.
You are not.
You are not.
COVID patient, then this gun cause they level them.
A dirty quarantine.
Nobody don't care. Just go level them so that they don't see quarantine. And now they no cool and boss you. Then why I come my market? Put another monkey boy where I'm coming area them my party. Oh, this monkey boy just to take people and not be tea fatter. Then the police and no Westy and just they harass people all lawfully. Put another monkey boy where they pop and dumb with bomb in his grave. Put another monkey boy in his grave then they hard pan the name. Wetin the bad they do, the fine one, now that lock and put me through. Wetin do the soldier man? One way the people like vote for the discipline talk. For the government to carry after hours. For the discipline talk, man they don't begin they go anyhow. For the discipline talk, some man they do the work, then they eat money no more. For the discipline talk, they just they bill no more. But all down the back, the man they say I'm justice, they begin give me. Give back down the back.
Sierra Leoneans, stand up. We have to stand against them corrupt politician. Once again, and a welcome to Salone For All and Voice For All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. So much fun that we discuss. I get a lot where I want to start before I bring the panelists them, but time is of the essence. So I don't want to hold them for too long. So I did touch on one or two things. And then in between, if time permits, I will go ahead and do that, or I will get a special one way I will do just for that. Yeah, make a kind of acknowledging a first before we go into today's topic. Welcome, Mr. Ross, and thank you for your kind words. Welcome, sir. Mr. Bobo Labo, welcome. We cannot trust the process if we not see the progress. And I remember that, right? Now, one of we slogan here. We cannot trust the process if we not see the progress. Feel me? Madam Bendu Kamara, welcome. Madam Posha Kanu, welcome. Mr. Samura Kamara, welcome. Mr. Eats Justice Kanu, welcome. Madam Zainab Nahim Fona, welcome. Mr. Sulaiman Diallo, welcome, sir. Mr. Edison Amara Sise, welcome. Mr. Fode Musa Kale, welcome. Mr. Sequence Dumbia, welcome. The wonderful Miss Kun Kun Mutata, welcome, madam. Madam Hawa, welcome. Madam Kanku Koroma Mansari, welcome. Mr. Prezo Song J-Man, welcome. The wonderful Madam Katrin Koroma, welcome. Madam Mr. Mr. Jawad Lulu or Madam, welcome. Madam Fatu Kabo, welcome. Madam Mr. Almamik Bundu, welcome once again. Mr. Zizi, we get you, welcome. Oh, Madam Zizi, sorry. Madam Mr. George Walker, welcome. Madam Susan Conte, welcome. Madam Susan Mans, welcome. Who else? Mr. Muhammad Korma, welcome. Mr. Joseph John Leah, welcome. I think that's it. Okay, no. Mr. Sanko Abubakar, welcome. United Kingdom, as usual. Welcome, sir. Madam, Mr. Ajaz Cut, welcome. I think that's it for now. Anybody want to miss now, go back down and see if anybody else log in. Madam Sal J. Mini, welcome. Mr. Reg Korma, welcome. Madam Samuela James, welcome. Good evening, madam. Madam Pamela J. I think I don't recognize you. Yeah? So anybody who for Mr. Muhammad Kamara, welcome. Mr. or Madam Fun Faria, welcome. Once again, I welcome. I want to touch on a few things, and again, like I said, time day against me, unfortunately. As in, I know I can try for analyze to the core. I mean, to the last crossing the last I. The last T, and making sure that the I is on it so the layman will understand. So now we start first with Honorable Jivaro. Sometimes I can mispronounce it, and forgive me if I do so. This is not a man at some point where I give kudos. Some of it I repost. We repost one of we previous interview with him when I been phone interview where unfortunately they me attack him last year, where I look him at that point as someone that was a patriotic citizen. Madam Aisatu Conte, welcome. Thank you for your kind word. Madam Asanatu W, welcome. Madam or Miss Tori Mucha IB, welcome. Mr. Abraham Koroma, welcome. And Mr. Mo Da, welcome. And most of in at the background, obviously we not can say anything. We welcome in our equally, yeah. So like I've been to say, Honorable Jivao at that time, like I say, I've been looking as a patriotic citizen because it talk, and I do believe most of these politicians or these honorables, they want to do right, but unfortunately, the system is a systemic problem. The system does not allow them to be good. You understand? But that's where again the self integrity come in place, holding oneself accountable, knowing that at the end of the day, Madam Adama Mambo, welcome. Knowing at the end of the day that everything is vanity, we have to give account to the Most High, when at the Almighty God where we serve. So that's where integrity come in place. That's where again I'll come back and salute Honorable Rado Yoki. You understand? Where I believe say is speak truth to power with by any means necessary, whatever consequence it may come, it is what it is. You know, I believe say that's what human being for live for. But anyway, going back to him at that time, unfortunately, attack on my home, I felt extremely bad, and many Sierra Leoneans, you understand, because when one is attacked, is attacking everyone as a whole, regardless of your or political affiliation, it doesn't matter. It becomes irrelevant. Violence is violence, period, you know? And to the point that it was like so tragic to the family that one of in Pekin, they unfortunately may get traumatized. You know, it took an hours for not able to express himself. That was rather sad. That was unfortunate. And I pray that no family for experience that, you understand? But like I say, we on this platform we commend them and we condemn the unfortunate will be happening to them. You understand? Let's fast forward back to 2020. It take a bold step for speak with BBC through Mr. Umaru Fofana for call things by the name based on in observation, and at that time, which I believe there was a sincere observation as per evidence of what we can discuss today when the MCC report. Sorry, not the MCC, the oh God, I did try for do am so fast so that I will get the panelists them. Hey God. What's in general again? And I forgive me, the report what they can't make today, everything too much on my head. So anyhow, so as per statement from him then, which was like sincere statement where it said that Parliament was corrupt, it is obvious, it is fact. You understand? Because this report speaks volume. You understand? We can always say that we should not be hypocritical. If we want hold somebody accountable, we therefore check we say first. You understand? What we preach should be how you call them, a representation of ourselves. In other words, we cannot hold NGC, APC, C4C accountable wherein we did do the same thing or even worse. You get me? You know, so the Auditor General, yes, Ina, thank you. Everything is like, you understand? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, hello, Madam Mariam Asila, Junior Parade. Welcome, Madam. The wonderful Mr. Daniel Rogers. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Mr. Delwyn Thomas, United Kingdom in the house. You guys know I love you guys, right? So anyhow, so going back to what's happy to say, it is obvious that he was honest, he was sincere, as that of many other things that we will come back again and share today. For now, we go kind of like because we want to stay credible. We don't do anything here out of malice, but rather put in the fact for educate the masses, for educate we people them. For then, no politician, I don't care if you're APC, SLPP, C4C, NGC, you can no longer lie to the people of Sierra Leone. We are tired of it. I believe say it doesn't matter, like I say, because we find ourselves in the diaspora where we can get AC at our disposal, where we can get heat at our disposal, or where we can get, if we will get $5, we can able for get what we will consider quote unquote stable meal. It doesn't mean that we should not care about the one that way they back home. At the end of the day, I don't care what passport I all, like I say, whether it's USA, United Kingdom, European passport, it does not matter. It's not relevant. At the end of the day, the very first passport we got say I go on way na me on home of origin is the Republic of Sierra Leone. So we want to make sure say it's well developed, you understand, wherein if we make the choice, say we go visit, we get a stable economy, a safe place, environment, not only in terms of the economy, but also safety, as in the violence wouldn't happen, and list goes on. Honorable Girao talks a detail that they will get that interview with him, you understand? It's saying that they don't play any politics here for saying that the APC they send thugs in for attack I'm wearing. It was actually members of Ion political party would do that when at the SLPP. The wonderful Madam Jamila Kamara, welcome, Madam. Welcome, Madam Marian, welcome, Madam. I told you guys I love my United Kingdom people, man. Mr. Reg Koroma, welcome once again. So yeah, oh yeah, I strongly believe that, Mr. Rig, absolutely. I do believe that he's it gets very good quality within him, but unfortunately he's being remote control. It's say Ben Kefauver is remote control. Unfortunately, yes, he is, and unfortunately, as a young man, it don't well in Korea, where I believe say that was one of the people who for being give so much back to Sierra Leone, given the obvious that if he stay as a patriotic, not a partisan. But then that's where the question come in place, not only in Sierra Leone, but African politics to begin with. Do they allow them to be themselves? Or do they allow them the ideology? Maybe not all African country, because when you hear the words of the Liberian president, it'll tell you, say, you are not here for me, you're here to serve the people. So if every one of them think in that way, you understand, we share those type of ideology, then we then look at the bigger picture and the betterment of we country, you know, wherever we find ourselves within that continent today. But if we look and say, no, when I hire you, now what I tell you now you get for do, then obviously you do not care about the interests of the country, neither the people. You get me? So having said that, I don't want to delay with panelists then, because I have so much to talk about. Okay, good, they are not ready yet. So when they come in, then we'll go from there. So now going back to Honorable Jivaro, right? Like I say, unfortunately, I go look and say it compromised itself after I don't make that honest, sincere submission they to the public say, wherein how you call that the parliament is corrupt. You get me? Obviously, he's one of the parliamentarian. He did not lie. Then, unfortunately, as African politics go, they go don't care and go na tight corner quiz and say you if you not go retake, you not go reverse that statement. They want to go pass what you look under. We see that in the case of Honorable Tawa, where he stand for the truth. Then we see that we internal I call him minister Mr. Lai Lawrence Lima, where he go back again and say that if for puts the interest of the party over Sierra Leone, rather unfortunate, you understand? So it is obvious that after that, Honorable Jivaro will go back again and try for apologize, rather unfortunate. It's obvious, again, we are not stupid here as Sierra Leonean, and we can blame him. It's like a mixed feeling to a certain extent, but at the same time, again, where accountability come in place, integrity come in place, you understand, self-respect come in place, then you have the rights, you understand, only if his life is threatened, which we may not really know, you understand. But I do, again, like I said, I get mixed feeling about this man. I do believe that he's a fine gentleman if he's not being muzzled, if he's not being looking at things on a partisan level. So again, that's where the concern come in place. If they're being threatened, only God knows, you understand. We cannot speak on it except we have evidence to back that up. We'll go able for sure here. So that's why I'm very careful as to what I say here, or waiting will not give a misleading statement on this platform. So going back to that, Komot Padande, he apologized. Unfortunately, now waiting bother the entirety. We go into the in total now today, right? The in-depth of this MCC report. But let's look at things critically. As in I know here, we look at things not you know, we want to look at the in total of things. No, think beyond what is being said on any social media platform or waiting the politician and tell we. No, we always we think in cap and think Sierra Leone and think beyond waiting and the telling. Now we come to this MCC report wherein we'll get financial analysts, then we'll come with we in a little bit, and we'll get Mr. Adams as well. When we'll go read this report. I am just tired of the entire report, all right? So again, when you look at, now we ask ourselves the question, right? This MCC card or whatever, where they want to approve with for how many million? I'm so like fed up of this whole thing. I'm like so overwhelmed with it. I don't even know where to start or where to begin, right? So if not an administration, like I say, government always they stay the same, administration they change, right? If not an administration, we're sober minded, whether it comes from the immediate when are we president, it comes from the next to him, because I go talk the witch not the wife, you understand me? Any administration women good, we're serious, where they think beyond the box. That is not enough for say you celebrate. What do I mean by this? Let's say for an instance, right? We not go sit down with a celebrate for hand me down, meaning that money whether they can't give we, whether not trust and they trust we, or whether is that not a how you call it, what's in the word, donation. Yeah, you cannot sit there and celebrate on donation. The reason being, the things that we should be celebrating on, we are so rich in when it comes to natural resources. Yeah, but why is it that we're not able to produce we own rice yet? We say we get diamond, we get this, we get that, we get timber. Those are the things what we able for self independence. We're able for produce we own. We're able for generate funding from those natural resources. Those are the things we should celebrate about. You understand? Meaning, let's say for an example, like I say, certainly anything can meet anybody, right? Say you sit down, maybe you lost your job or whatever the case may be. You have to maybe somebody to help you towards you builds them financially. That is not something people like myself where I believe in being independent and a go-getter, trying to go get me on. You understand? I not go happy that I just then they help me, because that's where FTI they come in and a whole lot of garbage. You get me? But when I'm able to go physically, you understand? Them mommy, then I respect them mommy the way they go to the farm, they make the rest, they're able for produce for them family. You understand? Then they say would they depend on somebody where they America, London, or anywhere in Europe for them send we for now we able for give self-sufficient. So those mommy, then they like can say I respect them past the one they want at the PhD older, where then they kind of embezzle, you understand me? They embezzle then make like the example of with presidents where it just go see then people in a constituency 110. That's another example why one gear wearing. You say, you know, like where you go visit your auntie or your uncle, right? Or then can I host to your parents, and then when they go, they say, hey, when I give you lunch, no, Khadija, I give you lunch, you know, yeah, this, that. You understand? So that's exactly the example where we president show it this couple days. Say, hey, well, at the time I bring in a Christmas gift or whatever. But who side the president pull that money there? You understand? Now again, like when they say they take somebody in fats, you fry them. So you know say with a stimulating a mind now, so then I think then not fool we for say, oh really they're doing us a favor. That money na the money of Sierra Leoneans then. You understand? It should be made available to them without condition. And it should not be used to say, okay, now we don't, and I don't get small votes, so 2023 will get more votes. No. That's all indirectly bribery. Like as we say now on this platform, corruption is not only limited to the financial aspect, but even you using people's mind or you trying to manipulate their mind, that is all part of corruption. You get me? So going back to that again, we're right unfortunate. Okay, we panelists don't can I just wrap this up quick and bring a panelist, one of the panelists in. Going back again to Honorable Jivaro, the unfortunate fact that one ego apologized, then now a video with canal it try for we go lack of better time lie to the people them about this MCC, you understand, for say, oh they don't come do an investigation, they don't can do reports. So the president do so well, this administration do so well, now make them give that money day. When you know inside your mind, a lot of people go don't lie, they don't manipulate reports, give like in the example of the Pandemba Road saga, in the example of retired Major Paulo, we've been getting also we sit down with Mr. Queta, where we say the man be even they drown inside your own feces and in urine, you understand? But when the unfortunate quote unquote lie civil society activists then go, they did not think about human rights, they did not think about the life of their fellow Sierra Leonean, they think about trying to do things for in the favor of the government. So mind you guys, Sierra Leone, nothing say everything again, like I can give an example. If an award is given to you, when you know you don't deserve that award, you consciously say, they set you free. Nowadays, we see a lot of garbage wherein, okay, because this person, then they as the current administration, we just say, give the award where they not even deserve. It should be merit or demerit. It should not be because they don't hold a position. They should earn every award. They should respect every award. Like I say, when the youth they work with Sierra Leone, when they give me any award, and they ask them what's in your responsibility behind this award. It's not about, oh yes, this and that. No. It shouldn't be about that. Waiting at your responsibility and your contribution towards the development of a nation. Oh yes, call me the mother of the year. Beautiful. But as a mother of the year, okay, me conscience for sets me free say I earned that award. You understand? And I say this with humility. But at the same time, I also want to know what else can I do to even do better than what I did last year. That should be their focus. But these many people now, they manipulate, oh yeah, well you know it's in, oh, they nominate Khadija, oh yeah, not Giamo, because guess what? They speak truth to power. Unfortunate. You understand? Give people award that deserve it. I don't care if they're presidents, if they're chief minister. I rather you give them mommy. Na Congo markets would don't work, it don't suffer na farm. It don't canal, it don't earn that money. It don't pay in picking tuition. Say it don't make unto MP or minister, or it don't make unto president. They deserve the award because they are sincere with what they do. Many of them people are the so-called gets a non-profit when they can of politics. So it's an insult to people like us. We truly love the work of God. We don't do the way they hustle, where we not get. But we love with people that we love God. We love for do God in work. So when those people come in politics and they use so-called non-profit organization, when they are not honest, and many of them, as soon as they not succeed, then back up again. So don't fool me with you say, oh, you are this person, now you got an organization. Where were you 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago? Was Sierra Leoneans still not suffering then? Don't use non-profit to cover your political agenda. I don't like it. I have strong dislike for people like that. So mind you guys, when you guys give, please give because of merit or demerit. Do not give because they deserve right now, because they're president. No. Therefore, respect every award earned. When you put somebody say they are the most influential, and again, that's one of the category where we don't belong, and I say it with humility. Make sure say them behavior. Like when I sit here, I do not represent only my family, me loved one, me better half. You understand? I represent every Sierra Leonean. So I for hold myself accountable based on how I they behave in public, how I they talk to Ina, how I they engage with Ina. So anybody who not able to live up to that expectation, I don't give a damn if she's first lady, she's second lady, she's third lady. If she does not behave in a manner will represent we, the green, white, and blue, unity, peace, freedom, and justice for all, do not give them anything. They don't deserve it. They can take that to the bank. Okay? So respect wherever, whatever organization you day. I just to give that example. They become they begin, because some of them they take these things, they hate them swell. Then they look beyond what team make they award them. Then they look at the responsibility. They just want the recognition where they not deserve, which is sad and unfortunate. So please, in our get them thing, and they know we take them very serious. If they cannot comport themselves, if they cannot look beyond party lines, if they cannot chew the bitter pill, if they cannot speak truth to power, they don't belong. They don't deserve anything where it be said they represent we as a whole. Yes, and you guys who don't take the awards away in a no saying and not deserve, which the example of this MCC, what would they come make down? Not feel say we country again we for be happy with anything good, but not feel say that the award we because we deserve it. Now we look and say the award we because of manipulation, and that's what bothers me. You cannot take somebody who don't work so hard. And again, I can always say it's not about the quantity, but rather the quality. It's just like any organization. Like I say, United for Salone, it represents every Sierra Leonean. When they want to go, they want to put me name, they say, no, it's not about me, but about us. You leave a legacy where they unite we as a whole. If even you die, if or continue for generation yet to come. You understand me? So if these people cannot connect we together, when at the bigger picture, please do not just take things and hand and give them. You understand? So for Sierra Leoneans who don't understand, whether they celebrate, say, oh, this and that because the pa do good, the obvious is there. The proof is in the pudding. You cannot celebrate and dance when you be say, say your fellow Sierra Leonean and still they suffer. Come on now. Say political intimidation still they exist. Say we get still political prisoners. How can you celebrate such thing when say na manipulation, na lies, na story then put for net and gets that? Then you're still celebrating? No. So again, there's certain category where they can put you with certain people them. You understand? You lose, you call it a blessing. You understand me? Because those people, their conscience will never let them set them free. You cannot be the most influential. Again, I'm making an emphasis on that. You cannot be the most influential and you don't give a damn about Sierra Leonean. Giving them about Sierra Leonean meaning that you give a damn about every Sierra Leonean. I do not care about their political party. You cannot say you care about Sierra Leone. You go sit down, you dance, you butu pa them. You pull int pa them. Self-respect. Integrity. So guys, please, let's put Salone first. Don't give me because you love me. Give me because I deserve it. Because I've earned it. And give me because say, I put God first and I get fairness of God that. And my goal is to make sure say I unite Sierra Leonean. You cannot be in certain category where you need to carry yourself and with respect. So again, I bring with panelists and they come right back, yeah? And I thank you. In the meantime, now share some of them video there, so they come right back.
Sierra Leone, one money day where they call MCC package money, where they like a $400 million. But that money, then they grade you in an exam. Every year, then they grade you, then they grade you how you defend the corruption. Then they grade you how you human rights record days. Then they grade you how you the whole book learning business. Then they grade you how you people are happy. Then they grade you how development in your country. So, from when President Bio came, they don't grade on the first year. They get something like a 70%. They can't grade on the second year. They get 81%. The third year, when they can't grade on a bam, now they win a $400 million. That's the country they grade at this point, at this world, where they set for win that money day. But when you're honest, when you're not a honest politician, you get the love of the people, na heart. Now so you they win prizes. So, we are showing us say before President Bio this in first 5-year term get for done before he enter inside the second 5-year term. So many things get for happen naturally when not only honesty and good leadership now they make them happy in this country. Now we tell when I say if anybody did we're not in the under the pantry when I tell them say come with love because not only good things and get for happen. Inside constituency 003, na good thing no more go happen. Inside Kailan's district, na good thing no more go happen. Inside Sierra Leone, na good thing no more go happen. No left there and miss out. And we, like are the shameless, not to rest for SLPP, now rest for everybody in the constituency. Yes. And also President Bio the tweet. So if I come every year, now for make a come, we now the politicians and the constituency. Now we for make the party it become popular in the constituency. Do ya when I'm do we job. Wherever we dey, we not make palaver for win the 1% or 2% people that we not there with we. When we see them, when we talk to them, now we bring them camp. Now only by talking to them and by the things that what we they do, now we go bring them camp. So I want to tell you now thank you. Like the way I say, we got plenty problems in our constituency today.
Bombshell. A bombshell report don't reduce with sacred House of Parliament to caucus. A bombshell report don't reduce with honorable members of Parliament to dishonorable members of Parliament. My fellow Sierra Leoneans, A.P. Thomas, today I want to release one of the most important videos I don't ever make. Today I want to explain to you what in the public perception report really mean. Today I want to analyze them for you and open and dissect them in a way that where the picking, when a small picking self go understand the implication of this report. What do you mean? What in actually the report say? You understand? So join me for the next 10 minutes on the 2019 Public Perception Survey report, where the Public Financial Management Consortium produced. This report identified with Sacred House of Parliament as the fourth most corrupt institution in Sierra Leone. But before we get to the parliament, I want to make you know, say there are 3 branches of government. You need to understand this for know which are they talk about. You get the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Now, then 3 branches of government are supposed to function without any connection, without any compromise to the other. If you get the executive, when from the president, they go down, now the administrators of the country, then they operate separately. They are accountable. Every money where they get, every law where they pass, now from the legislative. So the legislative now the parliament is for being independent. But if them two then they come together, then it compromise the interest. It means that the parliament they only work for the government, for the executive. You understand? So this is not the reason. The judiciary as well. If you get a judiciary where independent, it make sure, say for example, the government will take advantage over citizens or political opponents. It must say justice served, even if not the government officials they're wrong. Justice can be served, meted against them themselves. You understand? Now the reason in this, some of the reason in this, we make then 3 branches of government, they must be independent for effect democratic governance in my country. You understand? So now, let we get to this. They say the parliament are the 4th most corrupt institution in Sierra Leone. What does this mean for Sierra Leone now? Why they say this? What make they say this is that the parliament, number 1, not independent. What make they say this? Everything where the government they say, then the parliament they do. They say the parliament they work hand in hand with the government. Then they in a bed of roses with the government. So anything where even now bad things that the government want to do, the parliament they bed of roses with them. The parliament if for check and balance the government. So if the parliament and the government they work together, then get a kuku business together. You know they will check and balance, and you know they will dot the I's and cross the T's. You understand? You know they will scrutinize the government of the day. So this is not the problem. And the internal workings of the parliament, we don't see Honorable Tawa Conte. You don't accuse the clerk of parliament of corruption. You understand? For say they take the money that they give and they use it appropriately. You don't accuse them of corruption. Where ACC the investigates at the moment. You understand? So all that in there, you don't compromise national interest. You don't compromise you and me with interest, citizens their interest. Because the parliament then at the pocket of the government. Now so the report say. Now, this same report, this perception 2019 perception survey report, it also alleged say the parliamentarians them now the 2nd most corrupt individuals in Sierra Leone. By that virtue of that alone, we should never refer to them as honorable members, rather dishonorable members of parliament. Yes, dishonorable members of parliament. The reason why the report identify we dishonorable members of parliament as the 2nd most corrupt, second only to the crooked police officers in Sierra Leone. These are the reasons. Number 1, the report say we parliamentarians them, all the government appointees they when they go to parliament for approval. So then they when they get stain na the record. So then they when they not qualify for them position. Now the parliament, the approving committee, the parliament supposed for scrutinize and find all these things in there and say, no, Mr. President, no, Mr. Executive, all them people that will bring council, then this get this thing, not qualify for this position. This get this thing, not qualify, send another person. But instead, what thing they happen? It start from the executive, the government, they bribe parliamentarians them for make them vote, them people and they approve them, then nominees them. They even the people and self whether the government they appoint. Themselves they can bribe parliamentarians them for make them compromise their sacred duty for ensure transparency, accountability, for the ensure good governance, and for the ensure that processes are properly followed. You understand? So this then the report say, now there the corruption day. Because when somebody can come in parliamentarian, but look 200 million, 300 million, but now look other way, but let it approve, when I approve, me I go. You understand? Now so the corruption don't become endemic now the House of Parliament. Now that make that and so many other things they make, then identify the parliament as the second most corrupt. And also, they stop them now. When they don't approve them people, and they according to the report, like when the people don't begin working now, for example, they approve a minister. The minister don't can bribe them, where they appoint them, they don't can bribe them, then they don't approve them. They don't go begin to be work. 2-3 months, parliamentarians, they when they don't approve, they go say, hey, but so that we don't approve you and I. Now, me are they bad? Give me 10 million. So then they squeeze them people when they don't approve, then they continue for squeeze them, go. So now another area of bribery and corruption. And make I bring your attention to this. The bribery and corruption not they start anywhere else, but they start with the caucus leaders of the party. The reason we make us say so is that the committee for appointment na parliament now it's chaired by caucus leaders of political parties, APCO, SLPPO, C4CO, NGCO, all the members of parliament then caucus leaders of them political parties, and they automatically inside the committee of appointment in parliament. So when government say, okay, we don't put this person forward for make let parliament approve them, yeah, the first part of parliament where they go to now the committee of appointment. The committee of appointment, they don't scrutinize, they don't check, they say, okay, well, this person qualifies, let's send them to the next stage. You understand? So based on this report, if indeed with parliamentarians then they compromise their duties, they start with the caucus of all known political parties, and I did a thief they start. Because now then the first they approve, and if they don't approve them, even if you go to the next stage, they work. You understand? So all the approvals the way this report talk about, the indication with caucus leaders of all them political parties, then they complicit in this part.
And welcome back. I've been here for cut and short. Maybe we'll play that back again at the end if time provide. If not, we'll find another time for do so. Make I take this opportunity for pause and allow the panelists and for and come in, they introduce themselves. Now we start with Mr. Cashbox. Come on in, sir. Welcome.
Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning. Thanks for having me, Khadija. And hopefully we will kind of like can understand to team them on this wonderful audit report where, in my opinion, supposed to shape we life going forward. And when I say shape we life, the consciousness, I believe say the reason why we can't see day like how it is today, because we don't be deprived from the truth for far too long. And I feel say it's like the awakening hour now we can't see for be this moment. And for make we reshape or for make we shape we can't see is based on like now, it based on knowledge and it based on consciousness, it based on like awareness. So this is exactly where I believe say I will me only and nothing can say for share with you today. And of course like backed with this genius next to the screen, I guess like we can achieve a lot. And thanks for having me once more.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. This is home for all of us. Welcome, sir. Mr. Adams, welcome, sir. Come on in and introduce yourself, sir. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Khadija. Of course, it is a pleasure for being our panel with one of the finest financial analysts in our country on this particular day. We'll discuss this extraordinary, I would say, audit report, the annual audit report of 2019. I want to say, good day to the viewers them out there, and I hope we people will able to at least make we all learn something from this very important issue we can discuss here today.
Welcome once again, sir. So now we learn to we no not prolong any further. Next, I bring back again Mr. Alfred Conche, commonly known as Radio Cashbox. Come on in, sir. I don't even know Cypher starts with this report, but I believe say you can start at any place where you feel comfortable. Now you give we a detail of waiting for in the layman's terms so that Mami Sesebe na Congo markets go understand waiting then right now this report the Auditor General. Welcome back again, sir. Come on in. Check your device. I think you're on mute. Sorry.
Yes, it
Yes.
was on mute.
Good.
Right. Thank you, Khadija. You know, as you say, we don't even know Usai for start because, you know, like we can't see a day on the edge. Now, that I would say because, you know, until we kind of like realize exactly the pathway the country will take, it will be difficult for me to see exactly Usai we get for end up, Usai we lives and get for end up. You know, it can sadden me where I can see people picking them the rights na grown. You know, I see 4 picking and they share 1 bed na cottage. You know, I see recently water where like you see this worm they come out from a pipe born water. You know, and it is saddened me for see youth man them they live a life where like aimless life, I should say. This not a magic. It is not a magic at all. One thing where Usai I go want start, Usai I go really want start. You know, waiting now this audit report where people will talk about. You know, first of all, let me make it clear: the Auditor General kind of like issue an unqualified report, and waiting this mean you get like an unqualified report basically means it is okay based on the evidence, based on like the findings, and based on waiting una tell me are okay with waiting una tell me because it is okay. It don't necessarily mean say it is right for say everything is good. No, it is just saying that based on waiting una tell me, my findings, I ask una if I tell you if even they kind of like give me sweet lie, as long as like the lie they in kind of like in line with certain waiting for be the policy, we go forward for then based on that, I will give like an unqualified report. And then you know, what we get for realize now is this big thing about this $5.5 billion. You know, I do an audio about it yesterday. And I know say people like go and say like, let me make it clear now. Nothing like 5.5 billion don't exist at all. At all. They don't exist. Let's just make this clear. The 5.5 billion don't ever exist, Khadija. And the reason why I'm saying that, because, you know, beaucoup people in the talks, sorry, I'm just being, beaucoup people in the say and say like the 5.5 billion, oh, it's a massive amount. This government can destroy we back and all that thing. But realistically, it don't exist and not a true value at all. And it get beaucoup people for blame as to the reason why it end up for confused people. If you can permit me, Khadija, waiting upon the 5.5 billion.
Please feel free. Feel free to
that
indicate
the fact that, thank you.
Yes, sir.
The 5.5 billion, it was definitely like you know, a mistake on the Finance Act. And can you imagine a Finance Act where they dictate the country in financial policy, where they lay like the premise as to how the country for generate money or for save money? This is not the thing where they make mistake, but they make like, imagine the finance minister, like Sidom, they go to discuss this Finance Act na cabinet level. The financial sector where is supposed to be the most technocrat financially na the country. The deputy principal financial secretary, they all sit down, draft this Finance Act where they drive the country go forward, that they make this mistake. one can say, hold on, was this really a mistake or was it really like planned? Because, but you see, if even it was a mistake, well, now we look at, go back to the history of the wonderful financial sector, where tell we say he was the director of debt management during the past government, where the accused say pile debt per the country. This man was the director of debt management. You know, people like to kind of like downplay the real definition or like the waiting involved in being like a director of debt management. This man been supposed for monitor. You see, the two people right now we see them like now the technical side of the Ministry of Finance. Now the people way, in my opinion, that they kind of like encourage thieving for go on now we country in the past government. And why I say so, you know, that's not been one of like the key area where we country kind of like a bit global about now we country in the last administration. This guy, director of debt management and director of budgeting, the principal deputy financial secretary, now been the director of budgeting in the last administration. No director of budget, no the day, no day. What if they go on? We don't know. It's not possible. It's two things. It's either mean say you know Sabi you work or you were part of the corrupt system. Definitely, one of them two they apply to Matthew Dingy. Because as a director of budget, now you dey draw the plan. Anything will deviate from your plan, whether positively or negatively,
It's
is supposed to flag a red flag. Anything. And then you go back to the principal, the financial sector now. And why are they emphasized on the two people like that? Because of the mistake where they make by this Finance Act, where whether not mistake or it was planned, and that they come to the reason why I feel say a plan. These are the technocrats in the Ministry of Finance. Like the director of debt management, one day the interviewer, all waiting he tell me, he say, in the just the advice the government for debt. Again, it takes me to the main points for say, if the advice to you be the advice the government as a director of debt management, you don't know your job. Because as a director of debt management, every time, even before they go take the debt, you for analyze waiting they will get for use the debt for. You get for analyze when the repayment period. You get for analyze like who side we get for source this money from, who side we pay the money. All of these things you need for doing. So if you don't do all the things there, so the extent they give this man $10 million. And this to me, they say it was in the 2017-2018 audit report. They give this man $10 million for go pay with creditors them, the people who go take debt to. That money they disappear. You see, these are some of the things that where we get for being conscious of. But if I go back to the point about the Finance Act where they make mistake by 5.5 billion. Let me tell you the reason why they left out there. Khadija, the Finance Act be supposed to say the 2,500 and the auditor it don't make it do a job what it's supposed to do. However, it don't do enough. The auditor kind of like say, since the Finance Act say now 2,500 per cubic meter, now we the charge we for every timber. It is wrong. It is wrong. And they talk and say they get them wrong. And they were right. They eventually admit and say it was wrong. However, we need for question and credibility. They kind of like they're competent. We need for question these like from the finance minister can't wrong. We need for question and competent why they get them wrong. And they get for me, I feel there was a fishy reason why they get them wrong. I think it was a deliberate act. Because you will tell me, say, these people are there now, Ministry of Finance, discuss them in the Parliament, they're still not able to pick them up, and up to the implementation stage, when they be the export them here, when they be the record them that the Asikuda system, they did not pick it up that it was a mistake. This is the reason we make. I personally feel say something was fishy there. I feel say like they knew about it, they knew about the mistake. But you know why they don't flag them? Because they want make like this whole thing become ambiguous, for make it be difficult for make people to understand them. and for make the Auditor General a blamer, because now people will question. And for me, where Sentem get small idea, I don't question them. I understand why it show up as 5.5 billion. But because of this, you see now people in the talk say, and clearly, Salone economy, the GDP for a year is about 3.5 billion. So there is no way, and me and say timber is not like the principal thing where we make money from we government. So it's not possible for making 5.5 billion. But the fishing team will play inside here. Remember the president, the EU right hand man, they're responsible for this timber exporting. So ideally, this money we're lost now. It comes to people and they talk about the 177 billion, the 178 billion. Trust me, that is just a drop in the ocean, Khadija.
Wow.
Just the money we're lost by this timber team is about 2.5 trillion leon. 2.5 trillion
2.5
leon.
trillion. Equivalent to how much in dollars?
$250 million.
Wow. 250 million.
$250 million. But Mas check now. I will try for break the analysis maybe after Adams come inside, make I able to analyze exactly how we come to the 250 million.
Wonderful. Wow. 2.5 trillion equivalent to $250 million. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Adams, thank you so much for your patience. Take off Usai Mr. Cashbox left off. I want to just flow. Then I will bring in question in between. Come on in, sir. Welcome.
Right.
When you read the entirety, not just help you here. When you read the entirety, what can come to mind? And if you were to pinpoint some of the specific area where make your eyebrow go, wow. Let's talk about those areas, sir.
Right. I want to tell me, brother, thank you for a expert analysis where you give. But when I reach that side, I get sideway probably a little bit different. A different problem. So basically, when we look first waiting, set up the Auditor General's office by Section 119 of the 1991 Constitution. Now, in set up the Auditor General's office. Waiting Section 119 say there shall be an Auditor General for Sierra Leone whose office shall be a public office, and who shall be appointed by the President after consultation with the Public Service Commission and subject to the approval of Parliament. Then you come to the role known as Section 1194, Section 4. It said the Auditor General shall, within 12 months of the end of the immediate preceding financial year, submit his report to Parliament, as shall in that report draw attention to any irregularities in the account audited, any other matter which, in his opinion, ought to be brought to the notice of Parliament. So basically, what you they say now, I understand who side me brother come from. That I mean, with your expertise, they say the figures, the 5.5 billion figures not add up. In a way, you may want to say it is not, but when you take the financial the 2018 Finance Act, Section 3 of that one day, it tell you about the measurement on the export of timber. We tell you say all timbers to be exported in Sierra Leone, they shall be measured in cubic meters. So basically, what in the Auditor General do now, in conversion or the calculation what they make, it is purely on that. It is a statutory instrument. Now, waiting the law say. Now just in the case of Salone, but like here in England, when they say an act of parliament, it's the highest law. But for we, it is the constitution, because we're a constitutional government with the run. We here in England, when they say an act of parliament, not even the court can override or overturn an act of parliament. The Auditor General, based in calculation solely on what in the act tell them to do, that it should be measured in cubic meter. So for me, until and unless there is a further convincing argument for say this timber they are where then go sell, like my brother say where them price, it was for them like a mistake in the drafting stage. When they did draft the Finance Act, the 2019 Finance Act, now did they make that mistake there? I could get for question that particular explanation from anybody from government. Because for a bill to become an act of parliament, it gets series of stages where it go through. First, you get to go through cabinet. From cabinet, you get for commodity, you get to go through laws officers department. Then go redraft. When they go draft, you get to get first reading of parliament, where the minister in charge get for go table on it. Then from that stage, they get for commodity, they get for go line by line, and come back and do second reading. Then they go there and refer to committee stage. Committee stage, the bill get for come back, then they can do third reading, then get for go line by line, they piece them together. Before finally now they vote on it, it becomes an act before the president assents over. So if they miss all of them things, then they within all of that, then for make somebody can't tell we say it was an error on their part, then somebody needs to pay for it. Because what in this area don't cost me, it don't cost me huge sums of money. Like my brother say, it might not in financial terms add up to the 5.5 billion. Like when my brother talk about it, probably something to 200 and something $million. He could be right. May have done his maths in that. But me they look at the law, the legal side of it, and I made a challenge as to why such an error for be omitted within the entire process. We don't cost we they elected him. Now let's even assume say before the president go give this contract to a Paddy Babadi, we now the CEO of Leadway Trading Group, before they go get another contracting. Firstly, there are a couple of things.
Sorry, sir. So, from what you just say, I'm so sorry. Obviously, that's when I hear that it's conflict of interest. But do we have anything where condemn that in our constitution, or it no matter who that you give contract
Well,
to?
it is not a constitutional, but also it's there is a section that where conflicts of interest is talked about in the Anti-Corruption Act.
Okay. Okay.
It is very clear there.
Okay.
It is very, very clear. Somebody go on for come out and can say, oh, it is not this or whatever it is. Yes, we know say some of them things their business contract and political appointment can be related to so many other things. Say it's about interest. I understand it.
Yes.
But the process should have been, it should have been open to tender. Therefore, don't tender around for make them bid on.
For approval, right?
That's right.
Okay.
It'll go through procurement process. And then from there you select whoever made the criteria so the state will set.
Correct.
Then they award that person the contract.
Yes.
But no, it wasn't the case. The president used what's in the constitution girl in section 59 when the executive power where it gets as per in office. Now in use for make it go give this man this contract when in party.
So similarly to what they say before in a coming, where they say nowadays it's like even as simple as award, they don't give because of merit or demerits, but because this person don't hold this position or they right now as governor.
Now, here is the thing. What is also known within the political circle is that Babadi was one of the financiers or people who had them be raise money for help for finance the current president in electionary process. All right, so it is more or less somebody
payback
needs to be compensated for what they have done.
Yes, payback time.
You understand?
Yes.
But the concern where some of we get here is, even though yes, the Constitution gives an power there for make a use a executive authority for override certain things, but it also should be guided that when it use that power there, it should not be anything that should either directly or indirectly benefit him.
I see. Yes. Yes.
It should not. So if the president don't offer that contract there, and then like my brother they say they can't pick up this error, assuming it is an error. There is also a provision in the Constitution where give them for make them for go table a certificate of emergency for make amendment to the act before they begin trade. Then for long table, and right from that moment, they put every other export on hold. Then they go put it table the certificate of emergency, or make them amend now error day in the 2018 Finance Act. We then go say they pick up that it was an error on their side, that the intent was that it should have been in container, but it wasn't. Then we left the cubic meters there. But cubic meters, it's a global standard for timber trading that is accepted globally. So how you want to go trade timber in containers, whereas other competing nations, they are trading it in cubic meters.
Wow.
So basically, what you get, Naya, is that you get an imbalance in the weight itself. Some container it is either it go over full,
Right.
then some other container it go short. Because now in container you the flop or you want to sell. No, that's not the global requirement.
So in other words, with that, the route wouldn't take. Obviously, will be an obvious disadvantage for the country. Correct? In terms of
It is because a little devaluation. So what thing the country is supposed to forget in income or in tax, we're not able to forget them. So for make somebody can give a justification for saying, all right, it was an error on the part of the drafters or cabinet and then parliament altogether. I understand all of that. Because very little attention is paid to detail when it comes to enacting laws in our country. Very little. As long as what the government of the day wants, he gets. People need to take time for make them scrutinize most times for getting right. Government of the day, bam, bam, you don't get what you want, there you go. Later on, they can pick and say there have been series of errors here and there. Not to today, we don't get some of the errors there. But the point is, what some of we want to know about Khadija is the side way then go sell then timbers there, we want to see returns. What are the trading cost? You understand?
Yes.
Because they were exported. I want to see what you go sell out to your partners there. What thing come in the account of the trading company when I lead with? What thing come in?
So the company was mentioned, but not the specifically Usa Ibn Sell. In other words,
not specifically Usa Ibn Sell because they were sold abroad. So we want to see the partners that where they sell to abroad. What in they sell? How much and pay them per timber if it's per container? What in and get? And then we work out the math. What should have come to the state in tax or whatever variance there is. Then we're going to say, okay, it was an error on the part of the drafters. Then I go buy that explanation. But until that, it will be very difficult for some of we make them convince we into that argument. The whole thing, the law was flouted flagrantly simply because somebody gets a vested interest in that.
Yeah, Mr. You think I'm going to Khadija, don't worry, I'm not going to run away today.
No, please. No. We get all night, please. Listen, most of the night I got to do a lot of talking. Please go.
No, honestly, this is going to be a very interesting conversation. I wish all Sierra Leoneans get this opportunity for listening to this. Because I love the way, Adams they come with the Constitution. And this is the reason why I say, this, it was genuine. Look, genuinely, it is wrong the way they quoted it. And I love the way Adams is coming to it because when we look at it, went through cabinet, like I talk about the experts, the technocrats that we were supposed to get, the Sajuso, the finance minister, the Matthew Dingy. These are experts. There is no way you can make such mistake. And the worst of it, now when it go to parliament no pick on them. This is not the reason why make people have the lost credibility on the parliament, because how it goes through all these houses to side and they kind of set laws. We got lawyers there with the attention to detail supposed to be proper, and even financiers, and their attention supposed to be proper. Yet still, this thing it pass parliament. This is not the thing. Make I be clear now. The 2,500 per cubic meter, I'm telling you this categorically, it is wrong. But I tell you one thing, and this take me back to what Adams the same. Then I don't feel say this was a deliberate act for make the treat and so because they knew this was coming up. So they knew so when it come up, people will say no, 5.5 billion is not possible. And indeed, it is not possible. Trust me, Khadija, it is wrong. But I love the side where Adams they go because this was like me feel say it was planned because the president gets a vested interest in it. Because there is no way the president be one make we don't say now 2.5 trillion disappear. No way. I mean, as it is right now, even this 178 billion we talk about, it is a record loss now we country. Right? But there is no way. The actual money we lost, the president, you really feel say the president will make them no say that 2.5 trillion disappear? No. So this was planned. This time make I talk say whether it was a mistake. And let me go to the calculation why I tell you say it is wrong. And it just like when Adams make the point where he say we want to see who that they will sell to. You know, unfortunately, Adams, we live in a society where you can get that information. But there is no way Babadi will ever produce such result. It will do, but what's me, it will ever surface at all. First and say we did the body, or we see a padri. But you see, like the salary for all Naya, and also I tell people and say it is wrong. And waiting we for ask the government for now for with 2.5 trillion we don't disappear. And this get the president directly. And Adams, and I understand who side you come out from because you are an Englishman now. You just want to lay this thing for say, okay, we dey go by waiting the Auditor General say, and the Auditor General was right for saying a 5.5 billion. Because again, now waiting when you do audit, or the reason why I blame the Auditor General, because if it was just a statutory audit, it would just be supposed to go with like an act of parliament and based a judgment on that. However, the auditor not to just statutory audit a limited to. The auditor where the mandate where it gets, it can go beyond statutory audit. It's supposed to do performance audit. It's supposed to do value for money audit. And aside if we don't do this work properly, now the value for audit aspect of a mandate where it gets now we country. So the reason why I say it wrong, when they say 2,500 per cubic meter, as an auditor, you don't just take the face value. Like what I did yesterday was to go to the world market and say the commodity world market and say, look, almost they sell timber per cubic meter. The average price is about $140 per cubic meter.
Wow.
So that's clearly telling me, so no, the 2,500 per cubic meter, it is not correct, but it go back to your point. This thing go through the finance secretary, the deputy principal financial secretary, the minister of finance. They built it up. They went to cabinet. They discussed it. It went to parliament. They passed it as law. How they did not pick this thing up? And it go back to the calculation. 2,500 is not possible per cubic meter. It's not possible. Unless you get the best timber in the world. In fact, one of the best timber in the world, but $176 per cubic meter. Now, so they sell them.
176.
Right? 176.
And the one prior to that you said that be 146.
Yes, the average. Yes, the one that make the list. I think now 140 on average. Okay. So when you look at it, even you say we can't see that we don't know the value of the timber. We don't know. I don't know. I don't get that information. And again, it goes back to the point that you know I talk about like information asymmetry. Now one big audio I talk about. What does this mean? Like we the shareholders them, in other words, the people of Salone, we employ people them, we delegate people them for look after the country, and then now the government. So, like, even in the corporate world, this information asymmetry, basically, now it's also like a fight between shareholders then in the corporate world and the directors that within the key. Basically, when they say, we will get the company, the shareholders then, we don't get access to information. Because the directors then get more sensitive information, inside information, plus we. So then they call this thing at the finance world information asymmetry. So this is the problem where we get.
Say that again, sir. Information
asymmetry. So okay. You know symmetry, but like they put A into it. Yeah, okay. So like it just means the opposite of symmetry.
Okay, thank you.
So basically, like within this state type of theory, the government Even like the average price of timber, the least one, I think, about $140. Impossible say we you now that we're $125. So even the one who they sell for certain and they make money of where the government say they get of $15 per every cubic meter. Impossible. But impossible back to say the value of with timber say they around the 150, 160, or even to the higher end, 176. We don't know. But the problem now what we get, why also only 125 per cubic meter than this? Because they tell we about 2,500 per cubic meter. What did the act for don't say? If we don't say 2,500 for 20 cubic meter, for every 20 cubic meter, now 2,500. So the way I get the 125 per cubic meter, now for just simple like 2,500 divided by 20. Because every 20 cubic meter, now 2,500, then they sell them. So, in other words, for every cubic meter, it will be $125. It's as simple as that. So, when you do the $125 per cubic meter, because Adams, the reason, and I understand your point, but why I say it is wrong now because that the world market, and again, this time I say I blame the Auditor General because the Auditor General don't do exactly this. So, okay, I agree, say, Una get them wrong. Because waiting and tell them, they say, okay, we'll go change the Finance Act in 2021. But you know for don't fall for that. You go say, okay, Una tell me what is supposed to be the correct amount, make a place a value to it. Now that's if we don't do. And now I make a blame them because if it was just like a statutory audit it gets as a mandate, I understand. You do exactly what's in the law before you. But you also get like a mandate to do a value for money audits now we country. So you don't take the step further for able value what we actually sell. So when you come back, you do that $125 per cubic meter, and I go to the calculation, also I get the $250 million. When you do that $125 per cubic meter, the Auditor General and the government back confirm say now about 2.2 million worth of cubic meters of timber them now we export. I think that 2 points. I don't forget the exact amount, but it was, I don't know, so I'll go open it on the computer soon. Now, about 2.2 million, so that 100,000 say on top of it. But it's about 2.2 million cubic meter worth of timber in the sell, right? So if you do that 2.2 million, the times 125 per cubic meter is supposed to give you about $275 million where they raise. $275 million.
Wow.
But the Auditor General tell we say now only 25 million they pay now the government consolidated fund. Only 25 million.
Wow. Out of
275. They only pay about 25
So you're talking about
million
250 million missing.
Missing $250 million now ain't missing.
Okay, so now that even they say equivalent to 2.5 trillion.
Trillion, exactly. Exactly so. You see, this now waiting, you really feel say the president will make the notice, then make it go back to Adam's point. You really want to tell we say them people there. So see, wake up in as a law.
This is so sad for our country.
You really feel
so
say
sad.
The finance minister no about this. This is the reason why make the finance minister don't sack him. Because the finance minister they drag for the president and they build things them where they benefit the president. Can you imagine $250 million? You really feel say now make now what they do? They left out to make the thing become so ambiguous, so confusing. To make people because reasonable people are going to say no, 5.5 billion is not reasonable. It doesn't make sense. Then now this make the Auditor General itself cause problem for himself because now people are going to begin not to say a wrong. She's not wrong. Let me just make it clear. She's not wrong. But like reasonable people are going to say, well, Salone GDP only worth 3.5 billion. How we think that they will just go worth 5.5 billion. But because people are sitting and don't understand what the auditor is trying to do. But the
Okay.
waiting one try for gets na clear
So in other words,
is
your suggestion could have been, would have been for if we don't break them down, as in how you they do and so now for the layman understand.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. That's
Okay.
exactly waiting for them. And the
Yes.
figures are there for make it calculate that. It's right in front of her to make a calculator. Not enough for me kind of like, and by the way, the 2.5 trillion leons, of course, it will reach 2.5 trillion leons, but the actual dollar amount is about $249 million. But of course, when you adjust the round them up to 250 million, but like, of course, because of the exchange rate, it will be in the region of like 2.5 trillion, definitely, because the dollar is well over 10,000 leons now, anyway. So it will definitely be in the region of 2 trillion leons. But you see, these are some of the things then. When people in the jump for saying 178 billion, and they say, please, una take una eyes out of that 178 billion. Then. There is a bigger fish in the pond. And that bigger fish then, that president in 250 million will not be ever make we see.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So again, it take me back before we financial analyst and come in, the wonderful Mr. Adam before they come in for say that. So when the president say they go give lunch to her as in a Christmas gift, it's when they say they take you fry back if I call and give fat fry you or whatever they made they can say. So don't not think that is they doing you guys a favor. They don't do we a lot of disadvantage and they can ever do us a favor. That's the reason why we did now. So for making a priority for them to understand the fact behind the lies and the unfortunate statement of that of Honorable Jivaro. I want to bring back Mr. Adams. Now you add to that. Come back in, sir.
Yeah, thank you,
Welcome, sir.
thank you, Alfred, for now beautiful insight. Like I say, if not for the act we Nain Lara follow, I am definitely inclined with within Alfred here, because if like he said, the quantum is 2,201,024.88 cubic meters. Nine are the total exports. We as Alfred they say, if Larabi don't do what we Alfred they say value for money audit, then eventually if we don't know precisely and ask them detailed questions that we will ask for, to the extent if need be for ask for a secondary invoice from Usaid and Gusel, she could have done that just for help for shed light into this whole thing. But the way it go about, even to the point where instead they allude say yes, then tell and say a mistake and don't admit say they will get for do it's a cover up. It is a cover up. Make no mistake about it. Then people there they saw it coming, they anticipated, and then they engaged the mood say when this thing get for come up, this will get for happen, and this will be our defense mechanism. That's where we are going.
So do you feel that it was a deliberate act by the Auditor
No,
General?
it was deliberate. It was deliberate.
By the Auditor
Because
General too?
It was I'm not going to say it was
Okay.
deliberate by the Auditor General.
Okay.
But I would think probably it may have been an oversight from him part.
Correct.
You know, ask more.
Yes.
She could have probed in more.
Okay.
Because
Yes.
I know saying I deliberate because she's a woman of integrity. She has done a
Absolutely.
fantastic job. I must admit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love
Over
that.
the years, she is one public servant we don't maintain the image and credibility of the country. She's
Absolutely.
globally sourced, internationally sourced.
Yes. Yes.
So not to like for saying another kind of post where you can't take job now and you
Correct.
think say they go to bed hungry the next day. No.
Yes.
There will be jobs out there waiting for her. In fact, even they do international consultancies there. So she's
Beautiful.
globally sourced. For
A
her, it's about
blessing.
credibility.
Yes. A
So
blessing.
not to that kind of post where you could compromise. I would
Absolutely.
just say probably it's an oversight on their side. Like Alfred said, that she could have probed in more, or her team could have probed in more, especially with an issue of this magnitude. Like Alfred said, the 178 billion. When I scan through the report and then I see the timber, for me, I say, listen, forget the 178 billion, because the 178 billion, as much as there is so much there we will get for dig into. But some of those things there, these are habitual practices that we bad practices of what do they use. When time can, we then begin squeeze them, it will begin either your parliament or ACCC. Oh no, they don't carry the document through they be asked for. They don't carry this. They don't do so thing. They don't do so that. So that is why I'm not placing much emphasis on the 178 billion.
So
because they will go find the documents somewhere for make them up.
So again, as we a word we can always send us, so it will be another defining moment for we ACC boss. Is it also selective justice? Are you going to hold these people accountable? And this missing fund, are they going to you going to chain them to the make like how you chain we teachers them now how you call them contingency for shame them? Are you going to do the same thing for the we current administration? Come back in, sir.
To his credit, I see he issued out a tweet this afternoon, say him and in team they will dig into this audit report just as he had in the past. We even go through previous audit report them and people that don't pay and people are still paying. He said he will get for digging. But me, I also be don't challenge him personally because he's my good friend and a brother. I don't challenge him personally. Say, listen, we'll be happy to make you go through this report, but also this timber issue. Not to today, this issue I don't come up. This issue from October, this issue don't the drag up. It don't the drag up. If I were you, this issue and that you credibility day, that you everything day about the fight against corruption in Sierra Leone. If you say there are no sacred cows, then this is one of those where you get for people say there are no sacred cows.
Absolutely.
Because yes.
Absolutely. Okay. Before in a calm movie, they say I can look and say I feel. Should I say to a certain? It's like mixed feeling, you know. Maybe you want to do right, but like somebody writes earlier, he's being remote control. So.
Well, let's put it this way, Khadija. Either now or in the near future, these issues will be investigated. So I would rather he start the investigation now. Somebody stop him, and then posterity will be his defense. Say, this person, if he starts, he was stopped.
Yes, it makes sense.
Then at the time when other person go come, they can't investigate that issue. They instead said they say he was culpable for the fact that he was aware of all of them here and he did nothing.
Well stated. I agree. Strongly agree. Mr. Sanko, I say you want to come in. Come on in, sir.
Yes. You see, look, Mr. Adams, I don't say that you brought a good friend, but you see, like you normally say that Bellevue pastor they promote now they thief man they promote back. But unfortunately, you know, like I know you for somebody who like credible. But you see, I don't get any trust with this guy again. I'm gonna say this bluntly. I get no trust with him. Because since the last audit report, I remember a statement where he made. He said, gone are those days where the audit report is just a mere opinion. This is exactly the utterance where he made at the time, right?
So mind you, I'm so sorry for interrupt. Yeah. Mind you, in name now, so now Mr. Renaissance man. So sometimes it's easy it's easy to talk the talk than walk the walk. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Come back in, sir. Come back in.
No, what's the time for Bill Diaries? This man, the last audit report, 140 billion disappear. They tell me about the Ministry of Finance where money then disappear. And look at the side thing. I remember still in the last audit report, one issue will come up now the Ministry of Finance where like like about 717 billion get missing through salaries or something like that. And then at the Ministry of Finance, and I don't know if that's 713 billion or something like that, where the Ministry of Finance kind of like pay the people them, they don't show like no proper like audit trail to it. Of course, we don't say that fishy thing. When it happen, Sir Josu when I in the financial sector, go report to it according to this man. It's when he come do a press conference. I remember the first week, just after the new year, he do a press conference because he wants guy for please a godfather than the MCC them. But we could come to the MCC later. The reason why, as soon as the MCC had their board meeting, like on Wednesday, the audit reports come out on Friday. And the same thing again, you know, the one guy be the hold up to this report. One guy what they call Mohammed Mustafa, where they work in audit services. He hold on to the report. And even Parliament drag for discuss the audit report. Because according to like the law, When lawyer don't do the audit report, it's supposed to come on a parliament, we may discuss them before issue them. Even parliament drag their foot not for issue the audit report before the compact, before MCC they sit on Wednesday. So now we can find out as soon as the MCC report come out on Wednesday, bang, Friday the audit report come out. But make another drag, not go back to like the last year audit report where this man tell we say, gone are those days where the audit is just a mere opinion. In the opinion right now, the audit report, it's a mere granite paper, honestly. And why I say so, this guy tell me one day, say, like, the audit report, like, Sajusu tell him, say, he tell me, well, in press conference, he tell me, say, Sajusu tell him, say, oh, when I ask him the question, I say, oh, Sajusu, you don't can tell me already about that issue. Then Usai Sajusu now contradict himself, or the auditor, this man contradict himself. This issue, when he says Sajusu no more report say corruption take place in the Ministry of Finance, now he say, now he talk am. Now the audit report, Matthew Dingy, when Sajusu a deputy, already no go tell the Auditor General say, oh, we get documents to the effect. It just like when Adams they talk say, like, now so that they play with we. Like, you know, now this embassy say coconut aid. We all like coconut aid, they just told me. So this is not the point where at the time of it. This guy lie. Even at the anti-corruption, but he lie. Waiting Matthew Dingy say and waiting Sajusu say. This guy, since he gets a press conference, this was something I've been saying over and over again. Like since January. From when this guy get a press conference, not once he talk about the audit report. The only time when he investigates something inside the audit report, and even that, the only thing we investigate that the foreign embassy them about where they pay them, picking them or something like that. Now the only thing that they will investigate, and that's not because it relates to the last administration. Waiting happen, see them inside the audit report when they tell me clearly say the vice president's office, they give them money for go Ethiopia, they take them, they eat them, they don't go Guinea or something like that, about $20,000 or so. They eat them, nothing they not do about it. Then waiting at this guy only pulled press release right now about this audit report. Adams, look, today is the 21st. You go tell me back. This guy only pulled preference because I tell you, this come back to the gladi for so. If you don't take them, nothing when they reverse. Nothing when reversible. Sri Lanka, they don't reverse the compact. In fact, even on Wednesday, when they get the board meeting, when MCC get the board meeting, then they officially reverse Sri Lanka the compact. Ghana, they don't reverse the compact. So this is it. This is a history. So there is no way this guy in Yaidep and this compact, he knew too well. Like right now, they may get sleepless nights because this thing don't go to BBC. There is no way they're happy with this. And this nothing way reversible if they see say, waiting una can't tell we una lie. This guy only the pull press release for deceive a godfather then. So this guy for tell me say, oh, like again for can't find out, again for can't do this. These are all kind of like things the way they just want kind of like give me sweet story for them to get sweet sleep. Unfortunately.
Great one. So that take we back to it how we what we say now. So it could be another defining moment. I want to come back again to this MCC compact. Now we'll give an in total or a detail for the layman go understand. For say, you know they just grab you dance. You butupa people they say, oh yes, me man don't get approved. But now we know waiting at the requirements and how they come about for them and put we into consideration, because as far as I'm concerned, they don't put we in that consideration brackets right now. But not mean say we don't physically get the funding where they begin jump for celebrate. So come on in, sir, and give me a detail on that one, Mr. Cashbox. Or you want to Mr. Adam Scam? How does it go? How does it usually work?
I don't mind. Okay. Well, look, you see, Khadija.
Yes, sir.
It's unfortunate, and Salone people will fall for everything. And this is the reason we make they talk about this guy, this anti-corruption guy. For everyone's sake, you're supposed to be a professional. Like you're supposed to be a professional for everyone's sake. Stop acting like this, like a child. You're not. You're supposed to be a professional person. The very first time when the news broke, like this guy kind of like put a tweet or on a Facebook or so where it talks say, "Oh, we've won a 400 million compact grant." It's a lie. In fact, MCC don't even place a value to this whole compact in it. and I said it when I see her. And then today, the CEO for MCC Nasalon, MCCU Nasalon, when I in the former also, it confirmed back today when it talks say they don't know the amount it can be more than 400 or it can be less than 400. So why on earth we could get a government which is supposed to be responsible declaring for this compact grant? Let me go back to this ACC board.
Before you go into that, sir, I want to ask you, while they go in it simultaneously, I want to make it clear, is it a grant as in a donation, or is it something as in a form of a loan that we get for payback? No, make it clear to the audience as well.
No, well, it is a grant. Okay. It is a grant because, and again, will be specific to things then, where, like the fee say we desperately get in need of.
Correct.
Another thing where they go hand over to the government. And the reason why, because Salone are the only, I think, say that one of the few countries themselves where the threshold money that became, I think the last government about $44 million, I think so, or $43 million. Yeah. Where like they begin them like as part of the threshold program, where it be said they give them a few years ago. I think like a long time. I think that be 2016 or whatever. I can't remember.
Okay.
Where it be say, but it was during. And then I want no one talk now, but what make I can say the past government, because I want people to understand. They give them this money where now recently they complete that threshold program. They want to be skilled for do specific things then.
Okay.
And they achieve them, so they kind of like get even credibility for that.
So slow down for 1 second. So in other words, okay, with this compact, right, there is a responsibility way attached with it, right? In other words, absolutely. Like say, okay, the then administration say we want to make road, we want to build school X, Y, and Z. So all that figure for go on specific things then we ask for, correct?
Absolutely.
And then the other question I want to ask on behalf of Sierra Leoneans them for now you educate we, wherein is that do they give it all at once or not an increment?
No. You see, this is not the thing where people get confused. In fact, this is the money where they need to give the government for make it go put in a bank account in a bank of Salone. If anything, they will find like a designated bank where they put the money to. And how and when they require them for let me say for school, then they will kind of like they disburse the money to them. This is not a thing where like of course we know we country. Who said again for make money out of it? Because of the poor way they manage we country. And I make like you always say the way we fight corruption, if we not change the way we fight corruption will not ever succeed. Because the cure with the cure corruption instead of we prevent corruption. And why I say so? These people who said again for can make money, it's just a typical example. There is no price control in our country. Nobody need a check say, you see what's happened. We go come to the COVID audit where they do as well. Where they say, they go tell me say one bicycle cost like 50 million. Where they say the actual price for the bicycle is 20 million. These are the way they get for make money from this compact grants because like they get for kind of like they increase material prices then. When you see Khadija, the problem, let's allow people get clear. The money, they give the government straight away say, on a user. No. Now, when and how they require the money, that's so that they give them. Okay. You see, look at this dodgy guy, this anti-corruption guy, and this is not the reason. Dodgy guy. So, I call him dodgy guy. In fact,
so you aren't changing him now.
No, honestly, look, this guy make a statement today. Today, when the audit report come out, we're making progress. 2017, it was $200 million. Like today, it's $20 million. What's it? Now, full money you talk to? Khadija, very quickly, very quickly.
But remember, Embassy say we na coconut head. So now maybe we get for come and explain to the coconut head.
Exactly. No more. Why do you want the coconut head? Khadija, this guy they tell we now say we dey make progress. Now progress this we dey make a list something for you. Something where I do this afternoon, where I see that thing. I write on the I don't know if people understand, right?
Yes. In
the audit report, the cash loss will take place in 2017, now 37 billion. Imagine 2017 and 37 billion. Then this guy they tell we say we dey make a progress where they say this year now 117.
Repeat that
2017. Okay. We and I guess like up to 2010. Okay. And Yeah, you know.
So the billion,
2006.
billion leons or dollars, sir?
2 billion leons. So, sorry, 37 billion leons.
37.
Leons. They're all in leons.
Equivalent to, in terms of dollars.
Sorry?
Equivalent to in dollar.
That would be, I think, like 37,000. I think.
Okay, thank you,
Right,
sir. Sorry.
So when you go to like 2016, now 75 billion now lost. And why did I mention this? Now when this guy get mind for tell we say we will make progress. 2016 and 75 billion now lost, cash loss. And look, people, when I go to the audit report, in 2017, that 37 billion they were put. When I go watch the audit report, now on page 114 a day. In 2016, 75 billion I lost. Now page 14. Roman page 14. I didn't quote them. In 2015, now 65.4 billion. Wow. Again, now page 114. Sorry, I had to go too fast because
no, good. Go ahead, please.
Right, and then in 2014, now 140 billion of cash loss now take place, and that's the reason why we all know about the Ebola. This is the same way we all did talk about the Ebola money will disappear now we come to. In 2013, now 9 billion cash loss now take place. 2012, 82 billion. You find out say that's only the election period. Yeah. You don't expect that. 2011 now 110 billion. 2010 now 80 billion. When you look at all the previous years, then none reach the climax at which
trillion. Yes. Year. So but as much as we condemn all, because all should be given account to, but yes, like I say, you cannot compare trillion versus billion. Yeah. Correct.
Absolutely. Yes. But when you don't mind, you can tell we say we are making progress. Seriously. No, seriously, this guy, really, I don't see no lie at all. You know, yeah, coconut. Are you serious? No, seriously, so that's there. It can aggravate it. How you see we? For me, you tell we say we make a progress. You even talk to $20 million.
They talk on we, then don't say we're not coconut. It's a hustle. It's a hustle.
Let's play on the background now.
We played a little bit.
Exactly.
No, make Mr. Adam board there, come in there, defending body. Mr. Renaissance man, they don't add a name to you now.
Seriously.
Oh man.
The president don't think about 2 trillion leons. You don't mind for tell we say we make progress. And don't you see, Khadija, people like it's just like what Adam say. People like they forget the bigger picture. There are bigger fishes in the pond where people like they focus on. As I talk to you right now, even commercial bank. You know, commercial bank get mind tell we say about 264 billion. I think I don't know who say. Oh God, I need for I to open this audit report. 264 billion when lost the commercial bank. In 19 we they say that due to foreign exchange. Bro, when I get professional in our bank, we're supposed to account for any FX gain or loss. Yeah, you get mind for tell we say now because of foreign exchange. And this, you know that talk about the managing director in a commercial bank.
Well, I think I will get small suggestion for that. The one with Sally Tijanjalo 1.5 million all day into that category.
Oh God, tell me about it.
Unbelievable. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I'll stop here for now.
Okay, now bring up Mr. Adams. Now defend Mr. Renaissance man.
No.
I'm teasing you.
I have absolutely no interest for defend neither him or anybody in this government because
absolutely.
As I say, the reason why our sites in Tweetway in May, and for making us say the world is watching,
absolutely,
and the tide of history is against him for prove himself.
Absolutely.
If you say the previous government were guilty of X, Y, Z, that you went after them, and now you think you should be celebrating an MCC compact as a result of that fight, and now prove it so that we will have the $400 or more million. Prove it under your watch now. So that is what I say. The tide of history is now on him for making good of him. You know, but like Alfred would say, this whole thing about this compact issue, it is good in a way for Sierra Leone that progress are being made. As a nation, we should celebrate that we've been selected for a compact stage. But what I find very unfortunate is the level of disingenuity from members of this current government and their supporters. They went celebrating. In fact, they don't put the tag. No, you can go up to $700 million. The money can go up to $700 million. But it is not an automatic gain. Just because you have been selected, don't mean say you don't get the money straight away. Like Alfred would say, by 2016-17, when we qualified for the threshold program, even the threshold, you get requirements where they give you, where you formit. There are set criteria where you fulfill. And there was a time when people not even understand, say, Salone, we don't qualify at some point for compact stage. We were not selected. You qualified, but you were not selected. I want to make people underline the word what they use. You qualified, but you were not selected. We did qualify. What to make we be not be selectory was because then see and say we score on corruption, and then also on freedom of expression they were low. Now then two things a day now it make not be selectory for the compact stage, or we don't qualify. So what the NCC end up for do now for make them maintain the threshold where we don't go and say okay that don't make progress, we dey give them this money. But even the money, it took 1 or 2 years. The one that would be beginning under APC, not to APC can get the money. The money was released with SLP camp. That's how this program is. When you qualify for one thing, it's not automatic. So even the compact stage where they don't select you for so. You get then get what's then called binding constraint. You get for co-create, it co-create a program. Now when I say co-create are at 1 and 2. That we and MCC, we get for Sidona, then we co-create a program, say, okay, these are the areas that way we get we get impediment in development. That the area that is where we want to develop as a nation. Then they can then send an experts in, then which we own, then they still then co-create a program. Well, inside that program, then you still get a binding constraint. That they tell you, say, you get for meet XYZ before we they unlock them constraints there. But are these people not able to educate people on? So at every stage where we fail in them constraint and the money need come. So tell the next thing pass and tell we back say, they go back to threshold stage because we don't fail for meet certain requirements. Like what is happening now so. Let's say with the report of the Auditor General, then 2 reports there. The one on Corona and also this 2019 report. If the ACC gets it right and go order they're supposed to go after, including with timber money, the $249 million we brought to talk about, then there is an opportunity for make we get up to $700 million. But let's not kid ourselves here. That money is not going to come in if we don't get it right. And this now the litmus test this now for we as a nation. For make we prove say the fight against corruption is not only an intention for go after we people in the opposition, but it is a fight that is sincere and genuine. That every other person who falls under this route belongs to buy hard and go after them. But you cannot in this instance begin for a portion blame here and there. That's for every time, and that's one unfortunate thing we don't see from the commissioner. Every time there is something, he seems to be going back for reflect on what we don't happen, then it draw inference to the latter.
Yeah.
For me, I find it very disingenuous.
I like that.
And
I like that. I like that.
I took it on to him. I said,
I like that.
What is the essence of you going from 2015 to 2018 when there are issues that you don't deal with it? Talk about the now. Talk about the now. For me, DJ, you can be me party, you can be me brother, but when it comes to my principles, I do not negotiate them.
Yes.
I would disagree with you. I'll let you know that I do disagree.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Adams, what thing I can see by that example, what thing I can do is then they try to make excuse, say, well, it's nothing new. So how you were able for help the administration for them to do better? I give a example here with a layman for the layman for understand. It's like, okay, I get me partner. I don't do something silly. We don't piss her off. You don't come. Khadija, why did you do it? So, well, because your ex-wife did it or your partner did it. Khadija, why did you do it? Because your ex did it. Khadija, why did you do it? Because your ex did it. It's irrelevant. What you have to do is hold myself accountable, babe. I'm sorry. X, Y, and D. Now this make it happen. You understand? That's somebody who don't hold oneself accountable, and we're willing and ready for make sure say and not make that mistake there again. But if every time my partner say, "Oh, why did you do it?" then you make reference to the ex, then it make no sense. So this is the same thing what I say. The APC now with X, you now happen to be the new Yahoo. There is qualities that when they see in you will make them make you the wife. So you want to live up to that expectation. You understand? If you go back and say now APC do it, then they decided to let go of APC because they may don't lose confidence by APC. You they get me? So I can do this example for let the layman understand. You understand? So every time when we draw reference as into things that needs improvement or areas of improvements, you see the partisan they come say, oh well, now so APC don't do. Now so no, it's irrelevant. So come back in, sir.
It is a subtle way. It is a subtle way of justifying the wrong.
Correct.
This year if you don't happen, no, but we will try we best not to see the if it don't happen yesterday. That's a subtle way of justifying wrong. No, it don't happen yesterday. You don't go after them. The people have been punished. There are people who are still going through the same thing. Do not go reflecting on what you not happened yesterday. Go after the today's one then. Make those in the future also know, say, when it happens tomorrow again, we will come after you. We will come after you. It's as simple as that. But it's not happening. And the unfortunate thing from this report, Khadija, now the fact that say, like Alfred said earlier, imagine we pay about 440 something million leons of laptop, 47 laptop.
Yes.
So it's as if we end up for buying one laptop at the cost of 10 million leons plus. One green laptop.
Simultaneously, I want
to we then buy for we in an Apple.
Yes, sir. I want
Apple like laptop then go buy.
Yeah.
And sorry. Yeah.
No, sorry, sir. I mean, just want to add since simultaneously, as we talk about the laptop, now we talk about the missing vehicles too. Say Emerson be sing about that.
I want cancel. I just want we take in bit.
Good.
It is not just the missing vehicle. There were also issues with the procurement process. Now, a third party bid they use.
Okay.
It's a third party. That like for say, me, I win this contract, then I can subcontract to Alfred. Okay, Alfred, now for go get this thing done for me. That's a third party contract. That's how the process was done. About. The way originally win the contract, not to execute. They have the person go, that like you go sell and to other person.
So in other words, you and I have an agreement, the contact I give you directly. Then now you go send Mr. Sanko for then go buy him.
That's right. It's a third party contract. Where you read what you say, it's a third party contract.
Wow.
But these are the details that way people need for pay attention to. Those are where the underlying corruption take place. So even the vehicles that were supposed to procure, 2 or 3 of them they were then count as second-hand motor car. Up until now, that money has not been refunded back to the state. And that's quite beside. Then go rent vehicles. About 104 vehicles. Where then go rent to a company called Moliba Logistics or whatever it is. Where they pay over 2 billion euros for their cars and they would then go rent. So, and then you left that side. You said the report itself, it doesn't even make a good reading for us as a nation. It doesn't make a good reading. Like Alfred says, the Auditor General give an unqualified report. When you go through the report page by page, also it do in assessment of the report, you see where it tell you say unresolved. So these are issues that are pending that needs to be investigated.
Interesting. Earlier,
they are there, but the report itself,
sad.
Like there was a time when they say when we get this perception survey, when they say Parliament was the 4th most corrupt institution in Sierra Leone, and that was right, and it is still right now. Not even Parliament was spared. I think it's at page 453 or so thereabout. When you see. When they talk about Parliament, you'll be amazed how they talk about Parliament and our report today. Up to the point, even donor-funded program where UNDP give Parliament money was from $98,000. That money has not been accounted for. There has not been any receipt no nothing from Parliament. When the Auditor General writes to the clerk of Parliament for explain what's in return, he refer back to the donors. Say make it go to donors, for make donors don't go get and receive, go account for how they expend the money. So that's the power way. Now we are in charge. Don't come asking us for receipt or how we expend money. We will do as we so wish.
So that's a good
Now,
one.
Pharaoh can give you money, you go spend. Now you dey refer back to una, go ask am, tell una how we spend the money. Are you really serious?
Good one. So the other thing, like I say, we all for celebrate any blessing where they can our country. But that is one thing for let the money come. And it's another thing for let them put on at the right place. You they get me? Sometimes if you get $5 if you now for manager, it can go far away. But if you get 20 million, all man don't ready now that they dance, the pockets they don't ready now for see how they go able for full their pockets in the day. You understand? That's where the concern come in place.
The MCC money, not a money where government of Salone they choose for invest or direct any side they so wish. It doesn't.
Okay, so there's no way.
They come with a constraint. It like a contract where una don't do. There's going to be some kind of government and MCC would not they negotiate.
Okay.
Una they negotiate and specific programs.
So in other words, like how Mr. Cashbook been say, now they can directly to we cover.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. Even the implementation self they still forget their own eye. Now the ground for CC, they're able to forget value for money. Because they themselves, they have to account to the people of America.
Okay.
Whether they get their money.
Okay.
They have to account to the people of America.
Okay. So
but like when DFID get DFID funded program in Sierra Leone, they need to account to the taxpayers of the UK. When are we?
Okay.
They have to account to how they will spend money in a salon.
Okay.
So they need to do that. So government they get this project where they will look at. Let's say if it's water or electricity.
Right.
When they don't agree on the terms, then they time with something say, okay, this money we will give you if it's a $200 million project. Okay, now we give 50 million first. They will release 50 million.
Okay.
Then inside this 50 million, they want to see how far they go with that 50 million. They would say what you they do with that 50 million.
So the other question, sorry, sir. So let's say that 50 million, right? They want put on towards road, right? Do they? Okay, where they release the 50 million, does it go directly to the one that way we signed the contract with? Let's say A and B road construction company. Does that money go directly to them, or they come to we, then we pass on to the company?
It comes to the government.
Okay.
It comes to the government.
Okay.
And then, of course, you get to go through the procurement process here, but they will supervise. They'll be there. They'll be monitoring every single way.
Okay.
Every single step of the process, they will monitor.
Got you.
They will monitor. Not to let us say they can't give away money, then they say we'll go see them. Because it is a grant.
Okay.
It is not a loan. If not a loan, they will say anyhow when I go past it, when I get for people back anyway.
Got you. Right. Okay.
But it's not a grant. We need a payback. So then get for CC and get value for money. Because then get for go account for that.
Okay. Okay. So like in here in the United States, the one that when they receive grants, then they're able to forgive the detail through the tax. You understand? So like Salona, we not get that, correct? I don't want to try to get better understanding.
What do you mean?
So in other words, like for an instance, some non-profits, right? They can get grants where they give them, right? At the end of the day, they give all the specific through your tax, your yearly tax. Where you file your tax, you give all the expenditure, the specific of how you make that money, what you use if you spend $5 per gas, X, Y, and Z. So in Sierra Leone, do we do that, or is there a different route?
Well, supposedly we should be.
Okay.
In law, we should be doing that, but it is not.
I see, Mr. Sarkozy. Yes.
There was a time when they think for come up with an NGO act.
Right.
We're not acting and aim before make all NGOs and local NGOs begin for accounts for every single penny that is being sourced or being given to Sierra Leoneans or NGOs in our name. Right. Anybody who they take money in we name, you're supposed to do all of that for account for that.
Yeah.
I don't know how far that act has gone.
Okay.
Because I think it was the days of Honorable Bundu as leader of government business, because this was an issue where at the time when Mr. Sabin talked to I think that Belgium may become. I did propose it to him.
Okay.
Where then we get the late Sori Sudan of blessed memory. Say, why don't we bring in an NGO act just like here in the UK where you get a charity commissioner
Yeah.
for make sure say some of the NGOs there, because the corruption is not just within government, even
Yeah.
with the NGOs there, they are
Correct.
collecting millions of dollars in our name, but
Yes.
hardly are they going to account to them.
Yes.
So like you say in America, it does happen, but in this MCCEO case, it's a little bit different.
Okay.
The government, of course, will get forgive breakdown of the expenses and all of that, but not only that, it is going to be tied with the same scorecard they are when I qualify with. Let's say
Gotcha.
the fight against corruption. If they can give you 50 million within the process, they will get carried away. They could still will talk about so we not get turned on. They will still withdraw it. They will still
Gotcha.
pull we commodity. Ghana had about 5 and then 8 different sets of compacts where they be qualified for original.
Wow.
When they qualify for original, you get some countries, you get 5 programs, you get 8 programs, you get different programs there. But when you not meet the requirements that comes with it, or the way we are attached to it, then they will withdraw it from you.
Wow. So wow. What if you say then this a step ahead of we? So in other words, we not just one they approve with for, correct?
For the time being, yes.
For the time being. Okay.
Well, you see,
Yes.
Kanija, you see,
Come on in, sir.
like, make it just come in, sir. You know, when Akiyeri people on the top about grant and then be it a blessing, honestly, me ask the one. I mean, ask genuinely in the one way Akiyeri people talk about grants being a blessing. You know, let me assume, say, the government is right for $400 million. We've got it. These are programs that we say will go for 5 years. So, look, this we're talking about like 400 million over 5 years, let me assume, could be like 80 million a year. 80 million. For everything. This now 80 million we they talk about for a year. That means nothing.
Yeah.
$80 million.
It's
We
true.
country in GDP, it's about $3.5 billion.
Wow.
Khadija, you see, one thing it can really pain me. You know why make corruption bokuna we country? Now because all the thing with Abopa na free money. You see, they can always say when you sweat for your couple, you need to be careful how you they use them. Corruption now we country no go ever stop if we don't build the infrastructure. You know, when I see when you talk about the tax, like when they give grants in America, when they kind of like they verify them through on a tax, because there is a system in place where you need to go buy wheelbarrow, you don't request for receipt.
Correct.
And when you go buy that wheelbarrow, if the average price, the market price for that wheelbarrow is 1,000 euros, you can put 10,000 euros. Then the question you say, why? Because there is a system in place. You know how people are make money in a salon?
No.
If I go to this corner shop, like something went for cost 1,000 euros, and they talk to the person we get in shop, say, write me receipt of 20,000 euros. So it is legal. Legally, you the thief. Without as long as you produce a receipt. So the system in the country will be in place. So if even they say do your submission via like NRA, you will do it, but you still the thief the system.
Correct.
Because of the way the system set up. You see, Khadija, when we talk about grants, waiting that is 400 million. Let me assume say it is 400 million. Right? That is like about 4 trillion euros. You know, waiting with economy every year is about 37 trillion euros a year. 37 trillion. And then we can get, and this 400 million when we talk about, so impossible say that over 5 years they go. So realistically, waiting will be released now we economy for every year, maybe now 80 million, but almost we go able to leak per 10 pesos. Why we don't go try? And waiting ask me with this MCC report. Now the dodgy way where they pass them. It is not about us, because you see, even though when you add working, at times if they give you free money, you go happy if you add working. But look, we talk about now the very MCC report will pass this government for 81%. Now then we see trillions of leons they disappear. They tell we say they pass anti-corruption, they fight against corruption. 81% they give them. Look, now we get 2 contradictory reports there. 2.
Wow.
The one that the audit report, the second one that the Mo Ibrahim report, where people need to pay attention to. The Mo Ibrahim report he failed this government. He failed this government, they give the government 41%. But yet still, the NCC, they kind of like give them 81%. You know, they kind of like think, say, these are supposed to be similar reports there.
Yeah.
Similar reporting.
So the more, what is it called again? More Ibrahim reports.
Yeah.
Give us an insight on that for now we go understand
right
a little bit. Yeah.
So this is a guy where over the years, like in Africa, I think now Sudanese. Yes. So he's a billionaire. In fact, I don't know them days where Celtel be in Salone, then became Celtel. This guy investments them, I think about 40% or over 60% or so, in the investor Africa. The guy is a billionaire and he based in the UK.
So what beautiful to hear that about Africans. So beautiful.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This guy now from his personal wealth, that in a pool for compensate any president will do well.
Wow.
Yeah, in your personal wealth. In other words, it's time for encourage leaders in Africa where kind of like they do well and kind of like progress with the country. But Ibrahim a report promote this imagine this the African guy. You feel say you don't get interest in Africa past anybody else. This guy failed. He failed the country. And the fight against corruption, how he assess him? He assess him say the procedure the procedure the one that puts in place, it give the government 65%. So in other words, when this government they talk and do. But Ibrahim say, okay, the procedure they want to put in place and they go at 65% because it is all well and good on paper.
Sounds great, yes. But in reality, connecting now.
And it gives 65%. When it comes to the performance now,
yes.
Some day when it did at 31%, some day when it did at 37% on performance.
Sad.
So like the reports, we average for become like 41%. And why it average for 41%? Now because of the steps them when they tell me, it's just like where Francis Bekapala can make loud noise and say, I can't do this. Then it make loud noise about it. Then they make the team go to 41%. If Mo Ibrahim, I think they name Mohammed Ibrahim or something like that.
Okay.
Like if fail with corruption. And then the audit report also failing by the fight against corruption. Why the MCC
just don't add up? That is exactly what happened. Just don't add up.
So this is the reason we get people like this in the lady way na in the MCC. Then you get a Freedom House them. Where if you say the Freedom House is them like the Freedom House. Now, their civil society organization, then they report on the behalf, that they source the information. And these civil society people, when they talk about the Marcela Samba, when they talk about the Ibrahim Tommy, the Andrew Lavali, the Vicky Robo, these are the people when they give them information there. But if Vicky Robo, don't hear that they go down contract.
Oh, wait. So now then, wait. So now then come with this, for say, no, wait. Are you serious?
Look, Khadija, sometimes the thing that when they go on a salon, you need to believe. Because I think now the thing that begin to talk, and listen, and way if they play them there, where they talk about the corruption. I was like, excuse me, now you be go boast about like, it's not going to go past the government. It seems to go past the government, dodgy one, in terms of, but how they will go past this government for political rights, civil liberty, political rights, where we see a whole minister cabinet column. Even we see the fight against corruption, the chief minister.
But that is pure wickedness. That is pure wickedness. Also being we Sierra Leonean. You see that exactly what they talk. You cannot just award anybody without look on us whether it's merits or demerits, but rather saying, they look at the bigger picture. Then they look at the interests of Sierra Leone or Sierra Leonean. You they see political intimidation. You they see the instability, and yet still. How we go able for, if we not speak truth to power, then how we go able for improve Salone? That's what bothers me so much. Come back inside.
But Khadija, you see, we can't see, honestly, we can't see the story. like, the country is so bad that sometimes you dey think, say, who's mortal man they will live in Salone? What we dey talk so right now, this government, when they be the opposition and when they kind of power, they be tell we say the last government left debt for we. That's what they say. Oh, Khadija. I read something that broke my heart. Now this audit report. Hopefully, like I'll try next time I'll get them open. I can get them open, but I just know why. Like, may not depress me, may not give me bad sleep tonight. One thing they tell me say the last government kind of like left so much debt in the country, right? Where you know what's happening now? Something they go on now the country where like about now when people talk about 177 billion, forget about 177 billion. One thing they right now when they go on way, check them where they cancel about 203 billion worth of check them. They tell we say that they write them off. Matthew, didn't you write a letter to the Minister of Finance to make a write them off? 207, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Mr. Adams. You're very detailed. Anyway, you could not say you need that background. Anyway, like, but you see, like 207 billion when they tell we say they were write off completely. What thing they do? They record them still as if like the country owe them. They record them still like now. I think they call them GPFS. In other words, General Purpose Financial Statement. They record them as if the government still owe the money, but they don't request for council. They check there. But what thing they going to do now? And this now debt them when una say the past government left. Now una not go and reduce the debt when una say the past government left for. Una now they go and cash the check now to una say paddy oye.
Are you kidding me?
Like, yeah, sorry.
You kidding me?
Look, it is.
Oh my God.
Sometimes when people like in the talk about,
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's depressing. Every side where you read now this audit report, any side, you dey see say people
Cashbox. Let me just read on it for you while you continue.
Yeah.
Exactly,
God,
exactly.
I'm lit. Oh my God. I'm lit.
Cash and bank cancellation of obsolete checks.
Yes.
We reviewed a minute paper dated 16 June 2020, written by the Principal Deputy Financial Secretary to the Financial Secretary, requesting for the Minister's approval for the cancellation of obsolete checks amounting to 207 billion. We noted that the necessary adjustments have been made on the GPFS, and we did not receive for verification the revised area clearance strategy, letter of cancellation of all contracts, and responses to the letter of cancellation of contracts from the contractors and suppliers. Continue.
You will not say this man a lawyer.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. No, honestly, Khadija, sorry. This is not the thing where they go on now we country where people forget about 178 billion. 178 billion, honestly, like now a drop in the ocean. Salone, if we not kind of like build we country, we go forever, ever, as Emerson say in song again. Say they say we can begin and we can make this country. These are the same story where the papa be the talk as well, and he feels say now they can make the country. And if we continue this trajectory, we will waste powder and condo, honestly. Like now water na ducks back. The reason why this is not fun, Khadija, for make Asidon the cantot angry. They talk, the Allah, like, in fact, these days, he say, oh, daddy, always be family. That's how they laugh at me now. You understand? And it's not fun. You understand? So, like, it's not because, like, I want to kind of, like, be screaming, like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, like, they go sit down there on two, they keep pumping. They're like, no, daddy, always be family. I don't get you know, but, I laugh about it. Then again, what be naughty nephew, anytime you see cash box, like, it's not funny. But
All for the love of
it's a
Salone.
task where we all need for take for like move the country. Then you get some people that will go, the person mama,
It's
they go
sad.
say
Right,
na
unfortunate.
APC, na face maker London. Like,
Yeah, it's so
like make an
sad.
announcement on the platform. You know, man, what I sell way face maker na London.
I know.
And I'm proud of it.
God bless
Very,
you.
very proud of it. I don't want
Yeah,
to eat politics money in my life.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, you get people and just because you they state the fact, they're always thing that they tell you, oh, like you like, oh, well, for criticize the government. If this government, this money when they talk about laws, it is not like it's not made up. It is reality. It is fact. It is there. Go and read it yourself. Anyway,
Well stated. Well stated. I want to talk about the COVID a little, the COVID funding. You want to jump into that, Mr. Adams? You want to come in, or you want to Mr. Cashbox continue? Come on in, sir.
The COVID fund.
Yes. Did you touch on that? Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. Let's dive into that one. Then I want also simultaneously now talk about this statement. Do you guys see it as misleading with Honorable Jivao, or do you think it was in place? I believe say you know the right man for touch that before Mr. Cashbox come in. Come on in, sir.
Honorable Gavao in statements, of course, before I come to the COVID. Not in statements where he make on the MCC compact eligibility was unfortunate. Not only was he unfortunate, but again, it shows that he's a very dishonest man. He's looking for a comeback because he probably thinks he don't fall out with him party.
Absolutely.
So he want for use another means for comeback.
Strongly
That's
agree.
what he's doing.
I
Because how you, as a whole member of parliament, a lawyer who don't practice for over 10 years, you still cannot understand waiting a mean for big compact eligible. For make you go explain that to you people. Instead, you go there, you go miss. You go live on the people and they tell them, say, oh, these presidents don't bring 400 million kind, the money don't come. Are you really serious?
Sad.
So what happens if that money did not come?
So you know
what you get for go back for go explain to them say.
Great one. For the benefit of the one that we miss some, I don't play earlier, now play them so that way they gonna know exactly what they refer to, sir. Then when they come back, now you continue, sir. When they come right back, guys, and I thank you.
Sierra Leone, one money day where they call MCC package money, where they like a $400 million. But that money, then they can then they grade you in an exam. Every year, then they can then they grade you, then they can then they grade you, then they grade you how you defend corruption, then they grade you how you human rights record day, then they grade you how you the whole book learning business, then they grade you how you people are happy, then they grade you how development then in your country. So from when President Bio come, they will not grade on the first year, they get something like a 70%. They can't then grade on the second year, they get 81%. The third year when they can't grade on a bam, now they win a $400 million. Every country engage at this point, at this world, the way they set for win that money day. But when you honest, when you now a honest politician, you get the love of the people, na heart, na so you they win prizes. So we they are showing us say before President Bio this in first 5-year term get for done before he enter inside the second 5-year term. So many things get for happen naturally when not only honesty and good leadership now they make them happy in this country. Now we tell when I say if anybody did when not in the under the pantry, when I tell them say come with love because now only good things and get for happen. Inside constituency 003, now good thing no more go happen. Inside Kailan district, now good thing no more go happen. Inside Sierra Leone, now good thing no more go happen. No left there and miss out. And we, like here the shameless, not to rest for SLPP, now rest for everybody in the constituency. Yes. And that's what President Bio the tweet. So if I come every year, now for make a come, we now the politicians and the constituency. Now we for make the party it become popular in the constituency. Do ya when I'm all do we job. Wherever we dey, we not make palaver for win the 1% or 2% people that we not there with we. When we see them, when we talk to them, now we bring them camp. Now only by talking to them and by the things that what we they do, now we go bring them camp. So I want to tell you now thank you. Like the way I say, we got plenty problems in our constituency today.
And I welcome back. Some of the underlining things the way I catch, and I believe says in our way they watch way too, was that he say President Bill obviously based on in development, how much it don't make people then happy, and how honest he is as a politician. He said the first year then greater at 70, then the second year at 81. Now make they don't win this money. So come back in, Mr. Adams.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
As I was say earlier on, it goes for speak to the level of dishonesty in people where we place now a position of trust, especially elected officials. You will not find a Western member of parliament. They will lie this kind way to in people. And then you think, say, in constituents and they not go recall them back. But Sierra Leone, the most unfortunate thing we happen to we now this way idea of hero worshipping our parties. That is to say, if you're not a member of parliament, where you go there, you're no longer a man of your own or somebody of a conscience, then go begin to find a way to stifle you to the point you get forgiven into what you want. The vow started very well, especially when that perception survey came out. Where he said, yes, indeed, corruption they happen in parliament. And he's right. Because we don't see that the audit report, it's on there. It speaks to itself. Corruption they happen in parliament. But for make you know something like down there, it going in village now, he's looking for a second comeback. He'll go misleading people and it's unfortunate. But what is there for all Lincoln people there to a higher standard? We do not. We do not. There is nothing like a standard in public life that's alone. We for guide the behavior or the ethos of members that we will put na positions of authority. Somebody they grab no he go make up your own story. He go like as long as it makes him look good. Now the sight of him party, he's alright with that. And his leaders are happy with that. Geba will be need for please Madam Bio for tell and say, well, myself, I don't tell me people say don't count 400 million. That is the perception. And this now then some of we can or make we educate to people and tell them say, no. Yes, we we're eligible for compact state, but we not get 400 million. It is possible that we can get more than 400 million, that we can get less, that we not even get anything. Because if we get for meet certain criteria, there are norms, there are standards we will get for meet for when we qualify for get this money. That is the education we people need. Let us stop to give false hope to our people. Now false hope they go give so now. Now false hope. So they're going for use now money. Then when that money do not come by the next election, say, hey, but now man don't go qualify. Una vote and no money, and I they need to make this money come. That's a false hope.
Good one.
And
Good one.
we people don't need them anymore. It has to stop.
We will be here to
Then
educate.
more we can out to this corona funds we they talk about. I think the report itself is breakdown into performance and also so many other things we didn't do with the money. We talk about 92.1 billion. We now the money where they expend for corona and how they spend the money. Again, just like the 2019 report, it doesn't make a good read at all. And OSI then begin the dishonesty and give way the preface say then go get for can do something way not good to the people of Sierra Leone. Now the fact that said the then Attorney General when a Priscilla Swat through the sack. Now him begin this issue after when they can declare state of emergency. And it is one way for make you abuse the laws. When there is state of emergency, it means the president can able for assign and do things where he thinks in his own, and that's the constitution. In his own wisdom thinks a right for particular issue where he want to tackle, where he get to do this corona. They begin to enact laws then. We get the 2016 Finance Act. We those are the PFM Act. That are the Public Finance Management Act 2016. Now, in they tell you every single thing, and this 2016 PFM Act came to being after Salone don't suffer from Ebola. with the then government of Ernest Koroma, a land for some of the things that will be happened during the Ebola crisis, where you can recall say during that crisis they be doing waiting they call real-time audit. There was a real-time audit while the crisis was still ongoing. This same Laratelo appears. It became an audit the performance of the government and the finances of the state during the course of the Ebola crisis. So she highlighted a lot of things that needs to be done that were not followed then. Now they then call this PFM Act 2016. We can try a lot of things. You get for so many things, including procurement. How you go about, procuring goods and services in the when there's an emergency. Waiting at the laws. No, it wasn't the case for Priscilla. What in Priscilla ended up for do? Priscilla began to set aside this act. They bring in emergency measure will not be for even accounts to Parliament, and that account should not be audited by this Auditor General. If I just spend at will, do what they want to do, nobody should account, nobody is going to be audited. What they will get for do no more, then we'll just write up a reconciliation statement and say that this is case done. But as much as you still get bad people na SLP people, you also get people away. They're decent in a way. At least in public, they show say they're decent. Where the guy when at the head of the national procurement, where they had the procurement office, something soiree. Now he come out and begin to challenge Priscilla on public radios. Begin to challenge her. So no, we do not need any further emergency measures. The PFM Act of 2016 don't cover all of the things that we want for come bring laws about.
Are you possibly referring to Mr. Rado Soare?
No, not Rado Soare. Not Rado Soare.
Okay.
I mean the surname is Soare. I know before you call him first name.
Okay.
But he's also Soare.
Okay. So that information.
But it's a gentleman we during the Ebola crisis when in have been the procurement officer in Ministry of Health by then.
Okay.
Was the procurement officer. Where I think there was a time where he was even found wanting. But I think he appears to have been cleaning his image.
Okay.
So basically, now in begin challenge Priscilla, tell her say we do not need this. Then tell her say, what do you mean? You're not just a head of an MD. Now I say yes, I know, but I know what's in the act say. He said, but instead we'll find a way go advise the president and people concerned. Say we do not need an emergency measure for procurement. The rules are there, the laws are already there. But even so, it still not stop the game for make them misuse the money.
Okay, I think somebody said Ibrahim Soare. Somebody said name na Ibrahim Soare.
Ibrahim Soare, that's him.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's it, Ibrahim Soare.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of things that we go wrong, including of course the purchase of then 30 vehicles away, of course the famous song of Emerson and where they talk way. Then they say no, the vehicles, but we are not proud of. Then they say no, they are Jeep. Then they tell you say they are this. Every other person they give you your account.
I call them Minister Prado on this platform. Now I play that where they can write back.
That's right.
Minister Prados.
What I know, the government of Sierra Leone purchased 30 brand new vehicles.
You have played the part of the NPPA boss.
Yes.
So I'll listen directly. So I will not now say it's a hearsay.
Yeah.
But I've not listened the part of Kelly Conte.
Brand new SUVs, those vehicles are not brand new SUVs, all 30 of them.
No, I didn't hear you say that.
Brand new SUVs, those vehicles are not brand new SUVs, all 30 of them. Brand new SUVs, those vehicles are not brand new SUVs, all 30 of them.
What we have is 15 Toyota Hilux, all brand new, 12 assorted Toyota Land Cruisers hardtop, and 3 Toyota Prados, all brand new.
No, it's just 4 for this regional coordinator.
No SUVs.
4 SUVs.
No SUVs.
4 SUVs.
No SUVs.
4 SUVs for those regional coordinators.
And I'm saying to you with facts here that the vehicles are brand new.
No, 4 SUVs for those regional coordinators.
Please take a look at the screen. As you can see, the pictures there with the Prados, which are SUVs, by the way, they fall under the category of SUVs. You see, it has the presidential seal there, the pictures with the Prados. And those are those part of the 30 vehicles procured by you?
So you're calling those SUVs? We call
they're
those,
SUVs.
We call that a Toyota Prados.
they're SUVs.
Yeah, whatever, we call that. And those are 3. That's what I'm saying.
That's part of the 30 that were procured.
3.
So now let's speak to that 30 vehicles that were procured. Kelly Conte is saying they're not brand new.
No, that's not what Kelly Conte said. I listened.
People say we've bought these vehicles and they are the brand new SUVs. No, it's just 4 for this regional coordinator.
4 were brand new.
Well, some used.
No, we want to know the 4. They are brand new.
Well, some used.
What I know, the government of Sierra Leone purchased 30 brand new vehicles.
Well, some used.
When they hold their money, they don't pay them. Tell me if una go like, if una then they do so. He don't say where they want bluff. Money for well body one, then go buy motor car.
From what I know, the government purchased 30 brand new SUVs.
Okay, you read the other one.
No, those vehicles were not brand new SUVs, all 30 of them.
Okay, you read the other one back.
Only 4 SUVs for these regional coordinators.
Okay, well now you read this one back.
There are no SUVs. We call them Toyota Prado.
Well, and now the Muku them boss. Then why come by packet? You cannot give what you don't have. If you are not, you are not. Then don't begin say we gladly.
And I welcome back.
Say we the crumble because them full enough for me. Una not get plate to a hungry man. A hungry man is a hungry man. Now the same boy in talk say 6 months he they fix the economy. Let's no more. Now the same man come back and give back up. Una lose una get all the solution, but we don't understand any longer. Una been say una get this. It's easy.
Madam Samuel and James, welcome.
Una been the talk say ready for the dance. And everybody talk way back.
Mr. Assam Mansell Campbell, welcome.
All the idea we go make we live like family. But it is soon at the plan.
Come on in, Mr. Cashbox. Come on in. Now you've been there on the floor, eh? Oh, no, Mr. Adams. Oh, Mr. Adams, right? Come on in, sir. Come on in, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. I want, now you remain credible. Let them not say you don't make her up.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Correct.
So waiting the Auditor General say now on page 13 of the report on the Corona Fund. It said procurement of 100 motorbikes and 30 vehicles by the NTA, that is the Ministry of Transport, for 20 billion units. It said MTA, Transport and Aviation, signed a contract with a middleman. This is not the TYB they talk about, say a third party, with a middleman supplier, Nakazo Ventures, on the 24th April 2020 to supply 30 brand new assorted vehicles and 100 motorbikes, ATV, they put a model, for and on behalf of NACOVAC. The total contract value was 20.6, 20 billion, 61 million. MTA's decision to engage a supplier who was a mere middleman instead of dealing directly with the primary supplier resulted in a total inflated price of 3,241,744, million. Furthermore, the supplier breached the terms of the contract as 2 of the vehicles delivered were not brand new. NACOVAC failed to register and insure the vehicles and motorbike, despite the fact that the NTA provided it with quotation from both the NIC and SLRSA and ASSL, highlighted this matter in the draft report. So basically, what's in Lara tell we now? The facts say, firstly, the procurement process with the use was flawed. It was completely flawed, and it was deliberate because they saw all of this expenses to make people enrich themselves. Now, una want to buy 30 SUVs, una go buy 30 SUVs, sorry, instead of assorted. You see, the original quotation what they sent was for assorted vehicles. So it could have been SUVs, pickups, and you name them, but the assorted vehicles, now it not be the original intention. We then see them go end up for go buy 30 Prados for themselves. That was not the original intention. And even when they don't do that, even when they don't do this whole thing, then go waiting and then go consult the services of a third party, or then go use a middleman. We go inflate the price over 3 billion in excess of the original cost. Then what you will pay for, not you will get. And then you want to tell me, say, these are people that they're sincere about the fight against corruption.
Wonderful, Mr. Adams. One thing where we've been on talking at this platform, if then they look at the interests of the masses and the country and they fight corona, and obviously then vehicle and they supposed for the benefit of Sierra Leoneans. Why SUV wherein they can get like ambulance or a vehicle where it make more sense, because if you transport patients them, what thing they go do now SUV. Sometimes some of them are weak, then go and lay down. You want to make sure say you get like an ambulance now, a medically equipped for carry a patient from one destination to another. I don't know if it makes sense versus getting a Jeep.
We not need any further purchase of vehicles.
Okay.
We don't need SUVs.
So, right.
Probably if there would have been an addition, probably for them maybe get some more sophisticated ambulances.
Correct.
There were already vehicles, there were already ambulances available after the Ebola crisis.
Okay.
So the Ebola crisis.
Do we have enough?
Where President Bio, we do have enough.
Okay.
We see where President Bio, where they do a nationwide tour.
Yes.
They do the ambulances nationally, not the country.
President Bio or President
President Bio.
Okay.
This have been the assets that they inherit when the governments change.
Okay.
In the Ebola crisis, these are the assets that they inherit from the Aneskroma regime.
Okay.
When them get for set up a national ambulance service as well. Wait for the nationally with headquarters or regions in between the country for ensuring that there is proper coordination when there is a next national crisis. So all of these were anticipated. Say, in case we get another emergency, how will they begin to do this? There was even a national strategy where this report even talk about. There was a national emergency strategy. All they needed to have done was to tailor that strategy with the current climate. That was all they needed to have done. But it took them over 3 months after we get corona for them to go begin to do on a posh hotel, go begin develop another strategy. It cost me other money, and it cost lives, and also a lost value time in the fight against the disease. There were mechanisms in place, Khadija. It's as if not like say vehicles were not available. They were available.
Mm-hmm. So
we need to use the corona crisis for purchase more vehicles for them and their ministers. We see what's in happen. What's in the end up for can do? The end up for can double the position. The man when a minister and enough, now in them go make as coordinator. So you get for the pay them. While they are still being paid as ministers, you get for the pay them also for the service they do and the fight against corona.
You gotta be kidding. Wow. So one man they earn 2 paychecks in other words. Unbelievable. So could it possibly be also that then vehicle, some people go look and say then they use them for maybe buy them for them prepare themselves, like if they need for campaign or go certain areas for meet people them versus the real meaning where it will be for the Sierra Leoneans them. Do you think that could be a possibility? For say that they look at say, okay, it could be like a vehicle for campaign or for them travel from one destination to another. What do you think?
It may well be. As for using national assets for political purpose, of course it's happening. We don't see them in so many activities where they use national assets for do them political activities. It's happening. But for me, that is not much of the issue other than the waste. But the fact that we are short-sighted, we need to prioritize issues or things as to how things should be done nationally in our interest, because you do not need SUVs in the fight against coronavirus. Who are you going to put in a Porsche motor car when the person need to be late? You need stretchers. You need something else. Khadija, you got corona in America. Your government now SUVs then buy.
Not at all.
Or rather, they ask for more other things.
That's what I was saying.
Corona day in the UK, I cannot remember say the government of England begin to say they need SUVs for people for front.
What about even okay? Let's say you don't say we don't get more than enough ambulance. What about making sure the facility them well equipped, or the beds them for the patients them? Because again, not so long ago we talking at this platform. Shortly after we first lady say they go help their woman and they go then they go born a grown and they sit down then they sleep. Can you imagine? You understand? So if they're not, unfortunately, obviously the money not come for that, but I just say no more. If they don't, if people then sick, then get corona, you understand? If they don't make sure say they don't get enough place them where it be say then go able for live a comfortable life while they try for get over the disease. You understand? Instead of use that money day. For that vehicle day, if you don't get enough ambulance, then there's other areas that we for don't place that money day.
But that could have been a better way for expend that money there. Yeah. Because again, like I say earlier on, it's about priority, getting your priorities right. Know what is important to your people, not just to you.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't know, say this year it will be of use to me people, then you should put it at the front of your decision making.
Well,
but the people are not at the front of the decision. It was about waiting and get for. Imagine look they go spend man and buy personal gadgets them or appliances for them private use. Then they charge under corona. Then go 47 laptops where they buy 400 and something million. Those laptops are nowhere to be accounted for right now. The crisis not even done so. They could not account for the laptops. It's happening. They go and tip a generator where they even donate for help we fight the disease. It was stolen.
Wow. Interesting. So if they steal that generator, why they not can go na the how you call them? This what's in a corner of cottage where people then they die. Yes, they get me. Why they go thief and all that in a scene? I mean, anyway, I don't know if you don't done. You want Mr.
Make Alfred come in.
Mr. Alfred, come on in, sir. What's in your take with this COVID, sir? Come on in.
Thank you. You see, look, going back to the and I'll be doing an audio where I talk about the reason why Givao will come out and lash out at Parliament. Now, because at one time they were embroidered in one make, I think the director for like one environmental department. Apparently, yes, the request for make embroider key small thing in Parliament. Now, it make you lash out. You see, these guys, they all get the dodgy moves them where they can make another country. This time, you see, somebody will go talk like, people that begin glad for them, say, oh yeah, Givao, you do well, you do. Look how that guy, we think he annoy me now with country. Now this grant. Khadija, let's be a little bit like, let's go in detail about waiting grant, man. Grant, they're bigger money.
Yeah.
We sit down the above, we sit down a quantity for whether they give me money all the time. You see, this mentality will get about grants. When I can see people in the dance for the grants, the MCC, the IMF, the World Bank, then they give me grants, I don't sit down and listen the finance minister and the financial sector. When they talk, say, we get loan from IMF, but right now we never talk to them because they trust we want to translate them to grant.
You know what, sir, before you go further, you talk about dance, so now we play the Yegbele dance, then they come back.
The youth then they suffer, then they wait for the bread and butter. Who stand with the hammer, when the leader then and Thomas. Now brother artists, we just say go and launch a Yegbele. Now December done so you come, you go, you end by Yegbele. December done so you come, you go, you end by Yegbele. So Yegbele. The country just go by Yegbele. Free education, the results will come all serious people. That money we come for them na yek bele. Now the time they done so, the country just they go and yek bele. Man then they suffer, but no one that we talk down. Then when I big fool, like you say go like a fool. Now December done so he come, he go, he end by yek bele. December done so he come, he go, he end by yek bele. So yek bele. The country just he go by yek bele.
Yeah, belly dance. The mommy don't tower. Come back in, sir. Come back in.
Honestly, Khadija, it is sad. It is sad for the country for make a responsible government. All you can boast of is how they give grants and go dance. Khadija, let me tell you, there was a serious vacuum at the world market. Serious vacuum where investors were desperately looking for a place where they could invest. Africa will not take advantage of this moment, this coronavirus, if we're being serious. Africa, for we don't kind of like say, this is not the time for make we shine, make people begin to see and say, Africa, na place for go invest. We could have taken advantage of it if we've been serious. I heard something where somebody say, you know, when the coronavirus came, they say, oh, we tell no come for better, and so APC back they enjoy by Ebola.
Unbelievable.
Now this make Emerson sing, say, we don't mix people on a forfeit. No, seriously. You see, I'll tell you one thing, this moment was like an opportunity for Africa if we've been serious.
Absolutely.
We don't take so much advantage of this.
Absolutely.
But waiting, because of the mentality where we get, we fail for look at the bigger picture for attract investment.
Always.
Waiting we attract the grant. And when you Minister of Finance, Deputy in the financial sector, then they sit down and they talk, say, we don't go take loan, but right now we need to talk to IMF and World Bank because they trust we want to turn to grant. Khadija, if you come and can't lend money to me today, then tomorrow, you know, I tell you, say, okay, take the money now, take the money now. You know how they see you? Like you're not able to afford them. You're not serious. There is no way I kind of like believe in you anymore for able to turn you 2 to 4. I cannot. How a Minister of Finance will sit down be pushed about turning a loan into a grant. You know, I can always say one thing. Ghana, when we talk about that, this is a country where they say they go queue for paste. Ghana, as I talk to you, just before this whole corona thing in March this year, Ghana can issue bond that the UK for $3 billion. And not all people, company or country they issue bond, people they get the appetite for buyout. Because they get this thing when they call a road show. In other words, like you they market you bond. You they tell them the people that you sell you bond to, they get for make sure say you credible enough where AB say you go able to pay them the money back, or if they want to sell the bond, somebody else will do it, will like you bond and all that thing. This bond what they tell you say not debt. Ghana can't issue bond of $3 billion. The thing was sold. It's a sellout. $3 billion. You know what's in $3 billion? Look, the money when the president thief now on this timber, it's about 250 million. If we don't take that money there, that 400 million will be gladly for so, as they say. It could be like to even this 250 million when the president don't thief. This could not sort we self out.
That's what I was saying.
Because that we sit down, they boast, they dance. First lady, is this our country's policy for grants? How long we go sit down, they sit down, say, you know, when they give you grants, then we can dance. Every time you talk about this government, they talk about grants. Every time. We get huge potential in that country, Khadija. I always say one thing. You know what it is? We damn on the way we get. Sorry, go on.
No, I think, oh my God, it's like me. before you come exactly what I had to say. When we begin generate, we say we rich in natural resources. You know, in the example of the timber, if we can able for utilize those things, we able for do agriculture, we generate we own funding, we go able for sustain we self. You understand? And I can always go back with the mama. If it wasn't a dirty politics, we did look at the bigger picture, not because it was proposed by the then administration. We're not trying to get for benefits, but we can't get for benefits. I believe so if we don't go to another level too, because then if we bring another extra funding, where it be say go bring a better mama salon. Come back in. I agree with you strongly.
You see, now this like so I remember like even at work, like my colleagues they tell me say, oh, I desperately want to go holiday. I wish I can find a country where safe where I can go. Like I can sit down at the quiet moments. I say, Africa, Africa, Africa. What is wrong with us?
Yeah.
Africa, country that we are 6 hours away from like the UK. Some people in the left now the UK they travel like 12 hours for go holiday. They were desperately in need for go holiday. With my they joke with the break. Now we Africa man like now we na boo we work till we want nearly die. With man they joke with the break. You know what thing we for don't take advantage of. And this what you talk about mama. When you look at Lunge can be a powerful island for attract tourists. A powerful island. Waiting we for don't do as a country for heaven's sake. Me, you and I know if even we get coronavirus in that country, they trust me. Like the way where the IPAM, so just forget grant. We don't kind of like reach that level then. We can't see by then saying that if you look at Arsenal, unfortunately, for now, I support the most painful team right now, Arsenal. Where it say, if you look at Arsenal and Jersey, you see what it writes now by the arm, it says visit Rwanda. This is a country where, like, terrible war just like we.
Genocide, yeah.
This is the country now where gets like a team where like they play all over. Then they say visit Rwanda.
Oh, that's their team.
Yeah, no, not in the team, but like they advert that Arsenal the best.
I see.
Say visit Rwanda.
Okay,
What
yeah, because I'm like, I
nation?
was surprised to say Rwanda gets Arsenal.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah. But you see, the point where they talk, Dangote, where he ready for build a oil refinery, it go take debt. It's about 16 billion debt now it go take. You see, when people like in the talk say people like get money, they get money. Now debt so they go. Dangote take 16 billion debt for build a refinery now Africa. Imagine Dangote as a country, if we fix ourselves, we don't need for wait until we go find that diamond. I can always say one thing: if we serious as a country, what we do? We defend experts, them, geologists, them. If that's what they call them, Mr. Adams could know better. Like we go say, assess you. What we get as diamond. What we get that we want as a country. Based on that, we will go tap now the finance world now and say, let me go take debt based on what we get, and then people let trust we, and then we go fix the water problem. We go fix the electricity. Now what we wait for? We wait for the MCC grant. Bigger mentality. Now this nigga can talk one nonsense to me. I am Mutakuye. So what it mean? Like I think the right team name is Taemi Takuwu or something like that. But you know, one guy will be the big now the area. That's what we call I am Mutakuye. So like the team just bigger mentality. Yeah, like I think I am Mutakuye means do for God or something like that. Give it for God. How long for this mentality? Wherein always we can't see now when they give me grants. You imagine a whole first lady for bringing the dance for the fact that we don't go take debt for can fix with lights, with electricity, with hospital. 4 picking in the state now 1 day, picking in the rights now gone. Why can't you just like open your mindset? But for when you see a finance minister they talk about grant, what you expect? The blind, they lead the blind. $250 million worth of timber. The president take up all things inside our God, it put all inside a belly. Then when they tell me, when they gladdy for 400 million, how much will I go leak by 10 pence salt? This is the reason we constantly need for be structured. We need for restructure we constantly. We the people that need for stand up for waiting rights. We cannot Khadija, yes, the America what you do so right now, because of coronavirus, then go above the debt ceiling. Right now, America gets about $2 trillion. The UK, they kind of like don't go over 103%
Wow.
of their debt. Imagine they country where they live on debt. When they can ready, they tell me, as long as you know how many people thief for that country, now because now free money we they get. Free for all. Rope they play skipping rope. All my I want my sister and they play skipping rope. When they turn the skipping rope, they get one thing. Like when all think you want to now, all my own come inside. All my own come inside. Like now this now we play now we country. It's sad.
Sad.
For people a country responsible, a sovereign state. All we can about now for make we go then go give it grants, they go give it bigger money. Sad.
Sad.
Anyway,
I
just
agree.
stop here.
I agree, sir. Come on in, Mr. Adams. Come on in.
Well, what more can I say? Alfred don't say it is terrible.
I know.
There are things that we're not supposed to be celebrating about. If you see a whole man as Alfred say when a Dangote, you know, wait for me in country, go take upon themselves, say no, we need a national refinery. Nigeria, with all of its might, will not get a refinery. And someone else will go refine the oil and can sell, give them back their own oil that they produce. Dangote say this is a waste. He went on a partnership with so many people, and it is going to be the world's biggest and most sophisticated when completed.
You see that?
That they work for.
You see that? Yes.
Because
think outside the box.
That now like what in Alfred said,
Yes,
we
yes.
get resources where we can use as collateral for make we get it right. Rather than this bigger mentality way Alfred they talk about.
Yep.
We dey run on a deficit budget. What you would generate as a nation in a good for enable sustain we. Because na so recurrent expenditures now we get expenditure now we get as I know. What you spend last year pan how they spend this year pan. Not to for na for any other thing for you develop or no and recurrent. We get for go big partners there for can help we and the subvent or make we able for meet for pay salaries. You come, you say the previous people that with them be there, or they left the country in debt, or the government maybe they cost we X amount in salaries here and there. What you can do, you can quadruple them. And we're paying more. It's about 23 or 28% more increment in the national budget. All of which create offices. When you go through the report, even the so-called office of the chief minister, we can use grammar for telling about corruption. So the previous people were guilty of egregious corruption. In your office, and get people and they pay, they're not even on payroll, but they're being paid. When they go for go audit, in office not able to account for them people, but they pay them. All of the anomalies they raise them. Going at the office of the president, just on travel alone, he spent over $160,000 on retired expenses. This is money that we don't take, say the go spend through. They wait for can retire the money, and they show how you spend and with evidence and everything. No, they've not been retired. Now, been the reasons that this will make them be say there be one for inside now 2018 Finance Act for go put a clause. They say the expenses of the president should not be audited. There was a plan. They knew all of the things were going to happen. What's they want for do no more? They want for professionalize them, legitimize them. Say no, now this the law say, and then they begin to use the law now. Then they'll go tell you, well, we need the entire bank of Salone now. The president they try, but the president try and do something. It will come back unaccounted. They knew what they were doing.
Interesting.
They
Interesting.
knew what they were doing.
I wonder we also
The president alone is about 100 and something billion. When you check when you check the footnote of the report, I think it's on page 455 or so. Office of the president alone.
unaccounted for, in other words.
Unaccounted for. This. These are not my words, Khadija.
Correct.
Let's go through the figures for you. These are not my words. Office of the Chief Minister, 2019 expenditure without retirement, 57,300,000 50,000. The report itself can be found on page 443. Office of the President. Special impress for overseas travel, not retired, 160,000. In fact, Lara even tried for, because the rate where Lara calculator is 9,000 without the government rate, 9,009 leos. So let's even assume, say that the prevailing market rate, it would have been more. 1,441,440,000. Page 433. Office of the President.
Wow. When we do that figure, let's equivalent to what, Mr. Cashbox, or either one?
What's it in dollars?
Yes.
It's about $160,000.
Unbelievable.
Where it's recorded or retired.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
When you left that side, the figures are there. But when you begin to read the analysis of the audit, when the woman they ask for make their accounts for their money there, the lame excuses being given. Then you ask yourself, are the people in this world really want to fight corruption? Are there people who want to fight corruption, including the office of the First Lady? When they all go there, we not be ever not say the office of the First Lady now it's being costed from a consolidated fund. Now under this government, now we don't get office of First Lady being budgeted for.
So in other words, they pay them.
Well, it is obvious, even though the reports don't say whether they pay or not. But the activities of the First Lady are being charged from the consolidated fund.
Very sad.
And if he says something contrary to that, he say they get any
money from the government. Correct.
Thank you very much.
And then why don't we talk about the body funeral expenditure too? What's in a take on that?
1.6 billion. 1.6 billion is being expended on funeral.
Now we die so.
Somebody died.
Unbelievable.
They say this person don't die. We need for can spend this burying here and so. Then government go charge another CF fund.
Unbelievable.
And this is not the first time when Laradon they raise that issue. They say if una think say this should become the norm, this guy for big government practice. Why una need to draft a policy in that? Let it become the norm, but the no one for do. Because it is a way for hide certain expenses. Because bury money no get receipts.
But that
bury
is
money no get receipts.
That is
so
sad.
You cannot account for bury money. You don't for go ask say what you go use for go buy a coffin. What you go no, you need to account for them.
So that's equivalent
so most
to
of
the dollar. I can look for kind of like converting to the dollar. The begging
1.6
yeah.
billion.
Yeah.
You look about 130 to $140,000.
Even America is not gonna be that much. Maybe except for Michael Jackson beyond begging. Sad. I wonder we play the BBC interview with Mr. Umaru and then give me your take on this before we call it a wrap, yeah? Sorry.
This report from Freetown. It may sound cliche, but it seems to hold true in Sierra Leone that the more things change, the more they remain the same.
What's in I think about that statement, the very first statement?
Well, isn't it obvious that they always get to go back to the previous?
Yeah. I just want to make sure say exactly what TV they say is.
It is obvious.
Yeah.
So you always get for recall. Now I say, well, I know we get for report on this issue. But some back or tell and say it don't happen before.
Sierra Leone is far away to develop. Okay.
Grand corruption that has blighted this country for generations seems alive, well, and thriving. Two audit reports, one on the management of the public accounts for 2019 and a real-time one on the COVID-19 response, read like an encore of the last decade or more. On the public accounts for the year under review, the issues include interest given but not retired, withholding taxes but not paid to the state, questionable payrolls and the payment of allowances, costing the state nearly $18 million. The highly respected Auditor General, Lara Taylor Pierce, has what concerns her the most.
The main concern for me is the perennial matter on procurement. We note that because ministries, departments, and agencies may not want to bring in competition, they do what we call splitting of invoices, so that you end up having a sole process or request for quotation process rather than a national competitive bidding or an international competitive bidding.
Would you say these are resistance to doing things correctly or clear kleptocracy, people using all of that to steal money?
I don't want to talk about it as a stealing money matter. It is a deliberate, in my opinion, deliberate flouting of the rules for whatever reasons which they are best placed to explain.
Would you say there has been an improvement or a deterioration?
No, there has not been a deterioration, that I can say. There has been a better understanding of what is supposed to be done.
On the COVID-19 front, the audit says those appointed to lead the response at NACOVAC gave no value for money, something it says could have hampered the response, hence leading to more infections. The police, army, and civilian units of the response were all said to have been involved in fraudulent procurement processes. Dozens of laptops that were bought could not be found. Asked for their response, the government referred me to the Principal Deputy Financial Secretary, Matthew Dingy.
We have reviewed the report, and to a large extent we believe these are issues which we have been working on, and we believe we will address them decisively over the next 1 or 2 years. But the reports in general, it's an improvement compared to previous years in terms of PFM systems that we've put in place recently to address some of these challenges.
Breach in procurement procedures, that's a euphemism for people stealing money under the guise of buying something.
We believe that the procurement officers will be recruited now and sent to the MDAs and given them the right kind of training, and we are posting them out to the MDAs to do this job.
The main opposition APC party, which got a big stick by auditors when they were in power, have seized on the latest ones. Their spokesman is CDI Tunis.
The findings are appalling, they are shocking, and we saw gross and deliberate misappropriation. When you see the manner in which funds, especially those made for COVID, were spent recklessly, and you begin to ask yourself, why is so much focus on actions that happened in the previous government, but then we continue to see all of these broad-day thievery.
The Anti-Corruption Commission has welcomed the reports, saying it is studying them with a view to taking appropriate action.
And that was in Freetown. So what do Sierra Leoneans and groups representing citizens' interests make of this latest report by the Auditor General? Well, Ibrahim Tommy is representative for accountability in the rule of law, also known as CAL. He gave his reaction from the capital.
It is truly shocking, and I had hoped that after all these efforts that we have made collectively as civil society organizations and even as a government, especially the Anti-Corruption Commission, I would have thought that public officials would have learned the act of properly accounting for public funds. But if these audited financial statements of the government of Sierra Leone are meant to communicate the government's commitment to accountability to taxpayers, it means that a lot more needs to be done for the government of Sierra Leone to really demonstrate that it is truly committed to prudently managing the funds of the people of Sierra Leone.
I mean, we're talking about a hefty chunk here, 178 billion dirhams. If you can't account for that, that is a hefty number, surely.
It is, and in a country like ours, where every penny counts, I mean, everything is a priority in this country, from healthcare, education, access to potable water, everything is a priority. So it is truly shameful and really unacceptable. It is a disaster that we get in such huge amounts of funds that are not accounted for.
You know, there are some people that say, should you really be surprised that any government that is in power always has that attitude of, this is now our time to chop, our time to eat. Even some people would say that's no different here either. There's no difference in this case, in this administration.
But the truth is that really we haven't had new Sierra Leoneans in government since 2018. No, we're dealing with exact same Sierra Leoneans. It's us. The difference, to be honest, has to be in how the government or the ruling party responds to it. What I think will distinguish this administration from the previous one is how it reacts to this, by ensuring that every penny is accounted for, and those who are responsible for this, I believe at the very least, heads must roll.
Given how vocal the government has been and how it's shown they won't leave any stone unturned with the Anti-Corruption Commission, particularly chasing after the previous administration, do you think they'll also give the same support in the pursuance of whoever is guilty this time around of, misuse of these public funds?
Frankly, the government has no options. There's only one thing the government can do, which is to support the Anti-Corruption Commission, the Public Accounts Committee, to make sure that there is full accountability for every penny that has been identified by the Auditor General as having not been accounted for. The government has set a very high standard by setting up the commissions of inquiry and indeed supporting the Anti-Corruption Commission to go after members of previous administration who allegedly mismanaged funds. The government cannot now take a 360-degree turn by not supporting the institutions responsible for fighting corruption, including the Anti-Corruption Commission.
And that's Ibrahim Tommy from CMBN Centre for Accountability and the Rule of Law. Now, Tanya, maybe...
Okay. Make I bring in a back in. What's in I take before we go, and then simultaneously, what's in I believe say go be not a solution way forward. Let's start first with our opinion on this. Man, come on in, Mr. Cashbox.
Thanks, Khadija. It's the same old story. At times, monkey weak safe with Salone story.
Yeah.
Sad. When you hear the all way they talk, the all, they see the hypocrisy to the highest degree. Hypocrisy. From the Auditor General, they ask him, say, are things getting better or good? But that girl is a big response. I say, they're not getting worse, but like there's been a better understanding. You see, you don't even say it is getting better. Like
yes.
So when they can put up a trouble.
That's right.
But you see,
the obvious is there. What is there that you want to hear? Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It is, you know too well. You ask that question specifically because you know say the lady no go for talk and treat.
Sad.
And you read along the line, you can tell exactly what the lady they say. It not say it gets worse, but it not even say it get better. Already say, well, at least there's been like better understanding. This is the hypocrisy to the highest degree. Like now we country. Ibrahim told me, you dey talk say, oh well, the responsibility now with the anti-corruption, like a getting responsibility, the way this government will fight now for make sure say like they empower the anti-corruption. But hold on, Ibrahim told me, the one we don't pass 2018 audit report, 30 days, this guy no investigate of it. You don't even mention yourself, say, oh look, last year audit report we still get outstanding issues there. No, one thing, they're so clever for fool Salone people them. They're so clever, and these are the very people that will deceive this MCC report. Except not part of the story. You see how they report? Like, even the talk say, oh no, we don't get outstanding issues then way this guy takes it, but you don't investigate it. You don't even face that talk name. Before that, in the time talk say, well, this government go kind of like make sure say if they fight corruption, this is the hypocrisy, even to the woman of father, just like way Adams to talk about like in the opening statement. Always in the talk, like the 10 years, like every time from all born, that saw the team on the time, like, no, excuse me. The reason why they decide to change the past government because people like say them thief. And you see, the one thing that you always say, APC or whatever, because like for me, I feel say third force not exist now Salone. If APC not serious for fix that country, like I see the data, they game the way they play. If they're not serious, because there is no way we the Sudan back with the Emerson say and then forfeit. We can before we move, we can't see forward. We Sudan they go harass SLPP back, go begin they run after them, go say like no. Because if we jump on this not cycle, that's so no more we go. Like in the pond out of the pond. We are not moving anywhere as a nation. Mm-hmm. And this is not the thing when they make like all waiting me to say Salone for make we fix Salone. And it's not difficult. Some people are going to say, oh, now because you did from the outside or whatever. I'm not a politician. and I don't think I can be one, and I'm not even sabi for be one. But you see, like honestly, if we not try for fix, we can't be. It need to go any side, any side. And when I say any side, it need to go any side.
Well stated. Well stated. Mr. Adams, come on in, sir. What's your take on this submission, and then your own solution or
The whole report
opinion?
itself is like when somebody they try for vindicate itself. Because people don't they ask for the last couple of days when the auditor's report came out. So where is Omar Fofana? We've had nothing from him. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? So he needed to find a way out to vindicate himself. So he had to go to the BBC. But even when he go to the BBC, he didn't go into details of how the report came about. Because in some cases, if we don't talk what's in the office of the president is being accused of, that's what you do. You go into a bit of detail. But you want to use the auditor generally and for put Bangana fire.
Yes.
So make it talk who done a thief man, who done not a thief man. And make the lady say no. Make them people and make them go explain
Yes.
as to what are the true intention of why they don't do it.
I love it. Yes.
And the lady and you want to go use to
Yes.
put Bangana
Reverse
fire.
psychology. I love the reverse psychology she gave. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
So she saw through that.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because like Catchwork they say, then civil society guys there, these are the guys that we now then can ask like for say, then like Salone pass all man at this world. We all come on, we not like Salone, then like Salone pass all man. But the only love now when the party of interest, not they empower, and they profess all of that love.
Yes, absolutely.
They will do everything for stifle or for destroy every other interest of Procana Salone. But what is happening now? They pick on voting. Now they tell you say, oh, this government get for do this government get for do. On a normal day, they for don't they issue press releases. They for don't call themselves, then conclave. They issue press releases. They handle Lavali for don't they in the media here and there. But they are not. Now they get very limited appearances what they give. But it's unfortunate. And the MCC and other partners, then self now third party report then them depend on. Because which is why they give a support to some of them so-called local NGOs there. For give them an independent assessment of what is happening. But they're not, because the local NGO heads, they all get vested interest in certain political parties. Can they be the Igbo Hill Salone? Igbo Hill Salone say. Now, in project really on a school project. Only the first David Senge because Senge no get project.
Who's that? Oh, Hills.
Yes, Hill Salone. What's now this fellow in name again? It sounds powerful Liberian.
Yeah. The guy was ranting the other day. I don't remember his name.
So these are the sort of people.
Yeah.
You understand? With no credibility. Something like this, as egregious as these findings are, may they expect, say, even the radio, the TVs, that people should be out there analyzing this report. Make people understand that the so-called people, they say that they fight corruption as Salone, this is what they've been guilty of for the last 2-3 years going down.
They said the name Joseph Sano?
Joseph Sano, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you.
So these are the level of people away they say then are the activists in the country. They speak only on issue that benefits them. And then for the rest of the day, they are out there defending this government rather than standing up. Because they cannot dare go against them.
But you see, Adams, just like when you pick that point, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off now. Like the AYV, like the 98.1. Imagine 98.1, they get this lady, this MCCEU CEO, we're going to Salone, when they go to the station today. The lady they talk, not once they even ask her and say, oh, but the audit report said thief come on now. The audit report's like no, they did not even ask her. I don't know if they're afraid in their accent or because they say and say that America I grew up like the panic. It was just crazy.
Interest.
Exactly. I mean, Umar Fofana, why let me say the 5.5 billion is wrong, but then the most significant amount in the audit report. Why you not even mention them? Now the biggest amount that one in the audit report. Why did you mention it? You don't even say like they defend tactics for kind of like play around the people. By the way, No, Bia, that is Thanksgiving yet. No, the Bia.
It's more like to say, well, they wanted me to report. I've been report to, so now I don't go to archive. For when they go for challenge jam, maybe the concerned salon or others will go for challenge, I will say, but I did report. Look at me, it's in the archive.
Exactly.
Take days to another there.
Absolutely. But me know that one man within another salon when it comes. You need a joke. Like it's guys like wait in Mr. Movie. You don't see the big one. I don't know guys.
Oh man, it has been a great time with both of you. We'll forget another part 2 of this with another gentleman, then maybe possibly part 3. If the need be, way to come another day this week, God willing. I don't know if you want to take this opportunity again for giving a last saying them. Then I will take a break and then come back and give a closing statement. What I want come first, Mr. Adams?
Well,
Mr.
I just want to
Yeah,
say, I mean, I think we've said it all. I just want to say, if I'm willing, I will be patient, and I believe, say, the only thing where I can always say, let 2023 be the decisive moment. Because it's not a campaign against SLPP, it's a campaign against the status quo. And why I say so, if we let this 2023 go by without sending a clear message to government them, to party them, then they take me for granted here and say, no, you know it, let me just fool them, let me continue. They accept we for all that we be, whether we thief, they don't care, we fool them. So let this 2023 be a decisive moment to make una send a clear message to any party where they come that are considered. And let we be we body them go down, but we don't go down.
Well stated. Love it, love it. Come on in, Mr. Adams.
I want to take this opportunity firstly for say thanks to you as the host and thanks to my co-panelist Cashbox for insight expertise, and also to we viewers out there. We want to say, thanks to Una as well for Una continuing support. Like Cashbox say, I think say waiting we owe to we people now education, because for every time an opportunity is given, our role and for make we continue for the educating, make them know what are the issues and what's in they're entitled to and how they for equip themselves for make the decision. Now, like when people make the decision, now 110. A lot was said, a lot of promises were made, so much money was expended there. But because we use education as a tool, if people see the light and then they make a right choice, that will be the focus. Because we can vex, we can rant for all we care. If we not educating people, they will not be informed. What you go give them and they carry, and what they go carry, and that's it. Now, like, somebody go tell us, say, hey, madam, you don't count 400 million. But what we don't take so now, we don't analyze the issues. People don't understand, they don't know, say, hey, this money, I never can sell it too. I just promise no more. Now, like when they say, you go put a project proposal, then they go there review the proposal and say, okay, I think this proposal will be a viable one. Okay, now go write the project itself. Go write the project proper. You go write the project and proper, then may you see if they will get approval. That is what that compact is all about. In the layman term, it is not there yet. So we get for use education, for when we educate with people, make them understand that a lot of these things that are being promised to them, they are all deception. 1 minute, then go there and launch this, then go there and launch that. It's all part of the grand scheme. It's all part of the grand scheme. It's a re-election scheme. Say, oh, we don't, at the part don't go launch this. This project you go down through, you go down. It's all part of the scheme. All of what is happening now, it is geared towards re-election. Now, they will hold for camp for educating people. And for every time someone will get an opportunity today, we will. When the time which we will go down there, we will take to the airways for educating people, make them understand so they will make a right choice. That's all there is. That's all there is. That's all there is. A lot will be said. People will be threatened there and there. But we don't say when the election time comes, that's a different ball game altogether. Because the world by then is watching. And I make some people will gladly when there's a change of leadership in America. That's why we're happy. There's a change of leadership in America. Because maybe with Donald Trump, he doesn't care about what is happening out there. For him, it's American first. Even though the American first is something else. But with this one where they come, he cares about the image of America. So anytime America they put their money, they will put their everything they for make sure that the right thing is being done.
It look like we they get one call before I go. Salone for All, Voice for All, Network Television. Waiting, I name what's the call for, please. Welcome.
You don't send me the link. Nah, this send me the link today.
Oh.
I'm not able to get nothing and I left. Now Zainab from Canada calling.
Welcome, madam. Welcome, madam. Welcome. So waiting, I you take our topic.
Well, the take on the topic today of this audit, let us don't be surprised. This man, he don't thief. And since the beginning. So, me own take is, then go get the money. Then go get the money, then go return all. Because, now the information I just sent today, but that's what the blame we will need for go on. The world we don't the advance, we don't the understand. Salone, now the people they wait there, now the fakai or the one they wait there and are not able to understand. So now we don't understand. Now the global leaders there, now then they create this. I don't send me your report saying we know they blame them because the money where they take for go give, Salone no need for beg. If then they give them money, then they give the figure. While we then right now under snow, we they suffer, then they eat, not greed, selfish. They not do nothing. So we say the money go. We don't need to let them give you money again. Let them show we how for invest. Their money then they instead of them giving, let them pay their expertise now, don't go do something in our country. Now we don't take that. The money then they give.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, oh, sorry. So I think I don't know if I want to add to that. The one thing why we want to bring Honorable Tawa, I said I know he been take a stance where I believe say that was for the interest of Sierra Leone and Sierra Leoneans. So when we connect all this way we read now with the reports, obviously like how Madam Zainab say, it doesn't really come by surprise per se, you know. So I don't know if you want comment on that before we go or good to go. Mr. Adams, come on in. Okay, somebody else they call from England. Hold on, please. Salone for All, Voice for All, Network Television. Kindly identify yourself, please. What's your name? What's the call from?
How are you?
Fine, thank you. United Kingdom in the house. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, I just want I just want to commend the two gentlemen there who did at this panel today, Mr. Cashbox and Mr. Adams.
Yes, sir.
You know, the wish God bless them. You know, they do a good job. They don't really educate the Salone people because of this audit report and this MCC. You know, they don't do a great job. So they come and do in the future. We hope say they will take over the country. We look at policy not to politicians, but at times,
not correct.
But at times, if some of people are not good in politics, if they're lucky people good in politics, now the country are lucky. You know, so we need them come on in the offices and get that determination there for help the country, for move the country good before for many involved in politics.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
I really enjoy the conversation. I hope they will keep it up. Yes. You know, at least don't talk all the children supposed for talk. Yes. Hope people will understand what this audit report and this MCC. Yes. You know, I like people in the say back, you know, move for now. You know, even mention about the timber, you know, all the reports in the you know, so at least that make people in the people in the accuse and say the bias.
Right.
Come the expectation to talk about that timber. But not even mention that. So I'm a contribution and I just want to say thank to you. You know, at least for hosting the two gentlemen there.
Yes.
I really appreciate them.
Fine gentlemen, always. Thank you so much, Mr. Usman. Thank you.
Okay, later.
Yeah. So the fine two gentlemen, the wonderful panelists, where did they ever fail we? And I come in and respond to the two callers then before we call it quits. Mr. Kashibo, come on in, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Usman, thank you. That was touching. But don't worry, I don't join politics. I'm going to NBN Adams close. I'm not a politician, so I'm going to NBN. But anyway, you see, let's just always see me they say, let's keep the faith. I feel say the only biggest thing we may will always tell some people, make we not allow 2023 for, go. We know change we country. And I feel say the more we kind of like send a clear message in 2023, the more the next government will take we the people seriously. And this is not to do with like a campaign against SLPP. It is for the good of the country. Khadija, I get this strong belief say, if we change this government, we they send a message to the politician and say we're not fools anymore. Right. And this is not the campaign we need for move with, for make we send message to politicians and say, well, I don't fool we for too long.
Absolutely.
We cannot take it anymore any longer. It's about time, as I always say, even at the corporate world, there is like the shareholders there. We're the people, now we're not the shareholders there. We just give the directors the chance for me to run the country on our behalf.
Yeah.
But we get the responsibility for fire and hire. So this is like our time. It's about time. Honestly, I am passionate about this particular story. For make we change the status quo
right,
in 2023.
Absolutely, I love
if I'm gonna thank you very much. Adams, like always, they disgrace me. Say thank you to you, Khadija, and the people that review. We kind of like listen. Me now, Babo. I just talk to no more. I say bye bye.
Oh, stop it! You're cool in my book. I don't say Steve for me. Get my come back. This is your place. It's okay.
Exactly.
You are cool. You're cool. You're cool. Wonderful, Mr. Alfred Sanko, commonly known as Catchbox. We financial analysts, they never go wrong in this place. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Adams, come on in, sir.
Well, of course, we want to tell the callers, thank you. I think this is the beauty of the medium there for make you bring the right people in and they're able to educate people because it helps.
Yes.
It helps a lot. People need. Not to all man get time for go open 440 something page, begin to read page by page.
Yes.
So man go read, but you don't get time for pick up the details.
Right.
But that's what we need, people experts in for. So we want to thank you for the opportunity as well, and also to them because I didn't get the medium.
Yes.
And also to the people out there in Sierra Leone. You will not know how much impact this means to the people out there. But now when by tomorrow you begin to see the viewership, you see how far it's gone. Then I tell you, say people are watching. Yeah. People are following. Even those of them who are in governance, they are following.
Oh, they always do.
They know. Yes. They're fully aware of their actions.
And they learn from you guys.
We're not letting them. Yeah. And we're not going for let up.
Absolutely.
We're not going for let up. Now, whether people like Cashbox want for going to politics or not, when the time comes, we will need people like him around.
Yes.
Because they keep people on their toes to do the right thing.
Absolutely.
And these are the things that way people able to appreciate about activism.
I'm telling you.
They get people to do the right thing.
And Mr. Adams, the way how Mr. Cashbox they're taking time and devote to Salone, it seems like he's more educated.
In his
principle. He's more exposed and knowledgeable than even the one that were assigned to the position.
All man will be happy with that approach.
Yes.
I feel flattered now.
Oh, you deserve it. It's facts.
Brother, it's the truth.
It's facts.
It's facts.
Not an opinion, but facts.
The love of country. Every day you're out there. Imagine you begin to tell you say, me family. So imagine all that kind of stuff today. And they're watching. You see, them picking there at some point.
I'm so sorry, sir. We get another call. Forgive me, please. Yes, sorry, sir. Now just put another call coming. Salone for All, Voice for All, Network Television. Kindly identify yourself, please. Who's the call from? It looked like the no one go to you.
Yeah, me now Mohammed Ali comes from Maryland.
Welcome.
I just want,
Welcome,
I just want commend them two gentlemen there within the
telling you, man. Fine gentlemen.
Yeah, yeah. Because the coaching cash for this this now it just for be a vote against this regime, this particular regime. Just like we don't do so in America. This for set an example, is for set a precedent that the Salone people are no longer fools. We should never be taken for granted anymore. We know the issues, we know what's involved, we know what's in the goal. We are not fools anymore. It breaks me heart when I see Honorable Givao where they go before people like blatantly, with no remorse. They deceive the people. Somebody everybody don't hail, we don't hail with high esteem. People the way people they look to say na a icon in our society. Look we don't reduce himself. Salone is sad society, but they put in the two panelists, we will keep on the fight, we will expose them to everybody, we don't go through, we will call them out, we know them, we don't identify them. This is not like a blessing in disguise, this particular regime. They don't able for help people identify all the people who they destroy that country. We don't able to identify them right now with the help of the social media, with them, the likes of them two gentlemen they are within at the studio with you. So I just want to commend them, let them continue. Then and they are an inspiration to the people of Sierra Leone. And I want to commend you too for letting me set up this platform. You know, an inspiration, you know, a reservoir where people they can see the naked truth. They are big. I want some of the courage for set up more and more panel discussion. We touch on this particular audit report.
Yes.
So I want to comment. I continue to commend those two guys.
Yeah.
It's now a 2023 for be a revolt, for be a change for that country, for any politician with the come. Would they make this power government a one-term government, and would they hold everybody responsible for putting people into perpetual suffering and destroy the country? We are not fools. Sierra Leoneans are not fools. We know the issues. We know. We get people who are intellect. We know. Where they would dissect this government with all them cook anything they do. Where they know. So once more, I just feel happy. You know, I want to thank Kuna.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Mr. Sise is one of we on here. We can lose from time to time, but he's always one of we on. Thank you so much, sir. And
you're welcome. Bro.
Yeah. And of course, Mr. Cashbox as well, due to one or two reasons, maybe on the maybe need time off, but he no say at any time he's welcome to do his own even separate one at this platform always. I know say Mr. Adams be one land before the call come in. Sorry, sir, come on in.
That's fine. Just you know, thanks to the caller also. Now we all get an opportunity today, whether on this kind of platform or even by talking to people back home, we're able to influence things. Because I mean, make no mistake, bro, we get people that will listen to we down there. When you tell them, no, now this not the issue, now this not the issue, they will believe. Sometimes there are issues that will happen at Salone. Now we already had a call for confirmation. I've just said Cashbox, they get the same thing. People they call you from Salone for confirmation. The reason being because you are a trusted voice. You are a trusted voice. You know? So that's how things are happening. But we will continue, Khadija. It's an education for we all. Now we all get responsibility.
Absolutely.
Women will bring light to we people. It's part of real civic responsibility.
Absolutely.
It's a way of giving back to we people.
Yes.
You know, at least we don't care, we don't expose, so if we don't learn small book, at least we continue to educate with people, make them understand. Because those days are gone when they be taken for granted. One thing they tell we no more, we swallow hook, line, and sinker. That's it. We will go vote. Then tomorrow we'll continue the suffering again. No, it's no longer happening. And the question happen at 110. I keep coming back. We then go the single, only money, only voting, we know they sell votes.
Yes.
And indeed, they were true to that.
Yeah. Well stated.
So once again, thank you, Khadija.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adams. Mr. Cashbox, anything else? Or you good to go? Nothing else, right? I want to take this opportunity for telling a plenty thank you. When I take time out of in a busy schedule from family and loved ones for just come and serve with beloved Mama Salone. Thank you guys so much. What a blessing you guys are to Mama Salone. Thank you. Thank you
very much.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
sir. Salute. We'll take a quick break and then call it quits when I come back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye, Adams.
Yes.
Them say them they fix thing, them make we wait. From where them born we dey no more, we dey wait. Just dey wait. Government they come and go and left we pan the big debate. Another generation don't come me sweep and the way. Welcome to the way. You will still no say na boom bamboo you late. Even though man them I chair pan altin. When I say altin I mean altin. All these in them where they happen na the country. We cherry I pan altin. But the man they not begin them bagbati. They don't begin them bagbati. Do ya own no left hand bagbati.
Once again, welcome back. I want to take this opportunity for tell in a plenty thank you. As always, after God, now in a mix Salone For All and Voice For All network television. And I remember we team bind we together when at the green, white, and blue. Now we continue for speak truth to power. Now we call things by their name for the benefits of we beloved Mama Salone. Do not hate you company because of and I know share the same political party or in not share the same ideology. Now we call things by the name, and so that way we will get improvement the areas then we'll get concerned. We pray for a better Mama Salone. God bless we all. God bless the Republic of Sierra Leone. God bless the Republic of Sierra Leone. God bless the Republic of Sierra Leone. God bless the United States of America, United Kingdom, and everywhere where Sierra Leoneans find themselves. Like I say, the next few days, and I'll get to the topic though. We'll pull the flyer. We'll get a couple things that I want to announce. One of which we'll forget another gentleman. We'll go talk on this, maybe part 2 of this what we just discussed today, possibly part 3, or if not, maybe we go take until the next year, God willing, with body and long life. Then of course we get 2-in-1 anniversary we'll get for celebrating now. So one of which now is 17 years in existence with we non-profits United for Salone, and then also this platform years ago it don't start, but when we can live was 2 years back. So but the old folks and they say not also you for them on also you book your foot. So the one day will be done day with we where we we get a lot of fun. I'm not gonna talk the detail. We'll get for the first reunion, the second reunion, go land to a United Salone For All. We're gonna be on Sunday, God willing. So the first reunion I will get for pull the flyers soon, very soon. Once again, until next time. Now thank you so much. Salone For All, Voice For All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. May God bless we all. Bye. Welcome to Salone For All and Voice For All.